sequence?
Oh, they've been live a while, I think. But yeah, MBN's already live. Hi guys, sorry for the slight delay. We had an extra conversation coming up towards the end there, right after we kicked out Craigbot. So anyway, whatever. It's all good. Good afternoon or evening or whatever time it is for everybody. Welcome to the October 2020 General Staff Meeting on the Minecraft Rapid Transit Minecraft server. Staff present, we've got a good number of folks here actually technically making quorum, which is exciting, even though, not like that matters. Okay, so I guess we're just going to jump right into it. No previous city reviews, no moderator nominations this time around. We are, for those who missed it, all of the existing pending and deferred and other candidates who were previously under consideration under the old system, those have all been scrubbed. And we hopefully, after talking through the new system in 5A in just a few minutes, we will decide that new process and all new candidates will be up for consideration. We'll start with a clean slate for November. With regards to the one redacted topic that we had, we basically had a bit of a post-mortem discussion about what happened a week ago today, as well as some of the things that have happened over the course of the last week. And the statement that we have as a result of that goes as follows. And apologies that this is going to sound a little bit more, like rehearsal. That's because I'm just going to read it directly off of the document here. So I'd like to begin today's statement by making it clear that the decisions that the admins made at last week's ASM were made with the best information that we had available to us at the time. As many of you know, over the past week, we've seen a number of personal statements from members explaining their perspectives and providing additional context into some of the incidents that we based our decisions on, as well as additional information that we hadn't seen previously. Many of these statements included additional evidence that was not previously available to us. So, based on the new evidence that has been provided through these statements, through some one-on-one follow-up conversations that we've had, and similar things, we've decided on 3 specific actions that we're going to take. Number 1 is that the evidence that we have is now being reclassified as inconclusive in determining who was responsible for the 2018 doxing incident, and specifically the initial finding of information. And because of this, we are retracting Castle's double warning and retracting that charge. We want to make it clear that this decision does not absolve Castle or anyone else of responsibility for the situation, and especially of what everybody did with the personal information that they uncovered and spread around, as we know that there was a serious level of doxing involved. We may never know the true extent of the doxing or the true series of events that led that situation to become as big as it is. We are keeping Castle's termination from the staff in place, so he will not be able to return to the staff, because aside from this specific incident, there were still serious complaints about his performance as a moderator, his attitude towards the community as a whole, and a couple other incidents that were still very concerning. However, again, just to be clear, the evidence is still inconclusive, and no one is being absolved of responsibility. No one is having any responsibility directly pinned on them. So just as a heads up of that. The second action, and admins are standing by for this, we will be issuing 3 indefinite bans against 3 specific people. There was the conversation, or there was evidence that was brought to us over the last week that shows an incredibly extreme and egregious level of harassment against against one specific person. And this, yeah. Anyway, so the 3 people who will be receiving indefinite bans, and we're going to be issuing these basically in the next minute or so. They are Rich999, Frosty Creeper 10, and Camel Fantasy. These are indefinite bans. They will be appealable in 6 months' time. So if these players do want to return, they can do so through our existing appeals process. But they, as you can see in game, these are being issued immediately. The amount of harassment that we saw evidence for and the degree of the harassment that was happening is honestly appalling. And like it's incredibly disrespectful to the player involved, which I mean, it's bad. And we appreciate that these players and a few others have expressed remorse for their participation. And it's like, yeah, it was 2 years ago, but we need to make it clear that this sort of behavior is unacceptable, full stop. So this is not cool, and these people and everyone else, just we want to make it clear that sort of behavior is not welcome. So that those bans are indefinite, they can be appealed. The third action that we're taking is time to make my move will be receiving a double warning. This is being issued because he was involved in some less egregious harassment of a different member. We saw some evidence of a couple very specific and pointed comments that are, again, appalling to be on the receiving end of. We also know that he was participating in, or not necessarily participating in, but he was actively online and during the major harassment that we talked about just a minute ago. And because that happened in a private group chat that he had to be invited into, and like actively, switch over to join, that's not like a general channel. Because of that context, we have the expectation that he would have intervened or reported it to staff. And so because of that, he will, because of those two incidents together, Time will be receiving a double warning. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so those are the actions that we're taking. And so our expectation for all of you guys is that when something happens, that you basically have two choices that we would appreciate that you make a decision between. Number one is if you feel comfortable and willing to do so, and you're good in conflict resolution and stuff like that, you're welcome to try and resolve the situation and step in and handle things in a calm and civilized manner. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, or if the situation feels like it's getting out of hand, or if it's something that you're just unsure of how to respond to, the best thing that you can do is to contact a member of staff as soon as possible. Because a lot of these incidents, both with this and both and with the stuff that we talked about at the ASM last week, we likely would have had different outcomes, both for the individuals involved and for the community as a whole, had we known about them sooner. So please make sure that if there's something that you're seeing that you're not sure what's going on, let us know, because that's our job to deal with. Yeah. And it'll make the situation a lot worse because if you don't, if no one says anything, then perpetrators can feel like they're able to get away with it. And we want to make it clear that this sort of behavior is not acceptable. So.
I will say that if there are, again, if your issue is with a staff member, you can generally go directly to Frontal or to a staff member you trust, and they can forward it on.
Yeah, I mean, as with the ASM, like if we really don't want to take complaints anonymously, but if that's the only way, that you can tell us about something, we'd rather hear about it. So. But again, please just come to us if there's something you need to let us know of. So. Okay. So. Okay. Last bit of the statement, and then we're going to open up a quick Q&A for this and for some of the stuff for last week. We just want to make sure that if there are questions lingering on all these decisions and stuff, that we have a chance to answer them, so that hopefully when we get into the rest of the GSM, that we're able to start moving forward and do so with relatively level heads. So again, if you have a question, now would be a great time to get it, kind of formulated and ready. And we'll take them in just a minute. The last bit of the statement that I want to read is that I just, from personally and speaking on behalf of the rest of the staff, that the decisions that we made today and the decisions that we made last week have honestly been some of the hardest things that we've had to do in the 8 years that the server has been online. We don't want to be in this position again. We hate being in this position. And like, this is some of the worst stuff that we have to do. Like, it's heart-wrenching. I mean, I know that banning people and issuing warnings and stuff like that is going to rip out major anchors in some of your social circles, and for some of them it's literally a life-saving thing to be here, and I fully want to recognize that. So the decisions that we're doing today are not being done just for fun. They suck for everybody involved, and the only reason that we are doing them is because we believe that they are necessary in order to protect the integrity of the server and to protect the integrity of the community. And we want to make sure that we're applying the rules fairly, or at least, as fairly as we can, so that we're able to have a consistent set of rules and that everyone knows what the expectations are. And, we don't want to give people special treatment, regardless of their standing socially within us or within social groups that you guys have or what have you. So anyway, so I just wanted to make it clear that we feel ya, and we hate having to do these kinds of actions against people. We know they suck to be on the receiving end. They suck to be on the sending end. So I'm sorry that it's all had to come out so quickly and so abruptly. And I know that just like, saying, come talk to us, like, that's gonna feel weird because we were the ones who are in the room making the decisions. But like, please know that we're human. You guys are all human, and it's important to talk things through. So please do that. Please take care of yourselves. With that, I'd like to open the floor for questions. If anyone has a question, you can either post it in the meeting channel, or if you'd like us to unmute you, we can certainly do that. Again, just post in the meeting channel. This is specifically for questions about anything anything with the ASM or with the actions that we've just announced. For any other actions related to meeting topics that will be coming later, please hold those until the end of the meeting. Dalt, do you want us to unmute you, or do you want to just type? Okay, you can just type. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes just in case you want to post your questions in the chat here. Sasha asks, were any players issued a permanent ban or ones that cannot be appealed? No, there have been no permanent bans issued. All of the bans that we issued today are indefinite and they can be appealed in 6 months. The only kind of permanent action that we issued is was issued at the ASM last week, and that is Castle's termination from moderator. That is permanent. Captain Obi asks, can members that are banned transfer towns, etc.? We generally do allow kind of a last will and testament type thing of if you're banned, you can do that. They also can they also, can just wait for things to transfer through the standard processes. So.
Yeah, we accept emails, so like the email isn't blocked, so they can easily email staff saying what they want to transfer.
Yeah.
I'll answer Del's question. Hello. So, to be really honest, I don't know if an apology is necessary. Like, yeah, I guess the answer is no, because at the time we made a decision based on the information that we had. Of course, it was not the best information, but like, I also don't think that we would have been able to get additional information from that. Volp had already done a lot of work getting that screenshot out to us and that evidence to us. So, yeah, I will admit that we made a mistake there. Like, certainly we jumped the gun when it came to making that, but there was definitely a lot of precedence when it comes to Castle, considering that Castle has looked for this personal information before in other contexts. So
yeah.
So yeah, and I also want to make it clear that there might, like, this decision that we've made then and this decision that we've made now, that could also change if more evidence comes to light. If that happens, so we might like the punishment for Castle might change. It may change in the future, basically. So
yeah, Dol, I mean, again, there have been instances where we know that he has searched for and used personal information from other people. This particular incident, the evidence is now inconclusive.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Like I already made my personal statement, and I'll admit that my bias toward Castle is definitely not great. I will admit that a mistake was made. Whether or not it's an apology, though, considering all the other actions that he's done, I mean.
So the next question, I think, is
Skelly had a question earlier, but kind of got drowned out by everyone else.
Yeah, no, there's a few others. So like I'm scrolling all the way back. So Red Ray asked, "Is it advised for auxiliary discords to kick these players?" I would say yes. Although it's up to each Discord if you want to do that. From the like official Discord, we've already handled that, but that's the only one that we're going to like enforce. If you run a Discord and there are people who are in your auxiliary Discord who are banned from the main server, it's up to you to decide how to handle it. We would say just for like best security practices that's probably a good idea, but again, up to you.
Okay, sorry, where was Kelly's question?
He said he would type it out. He mainly
I'm gonna try and get to it. I'm just working from the top. Need an NL, so everyone from that group chat either has a full indefinite ban except time. Were there others in that group chat?
There was So, but he's already been banned for other reasons. So
yeah. Mike, the bans that we've issued and the double warning for time were for harassment, not for doxing, because again, the personal information usage, like Wirch already got his double warning for that. That's been upgraded to a temporary ban, or an indefinite ban in light of the harassment. So all the actions that we did today were based on harassment.
Skelly's questions on the
So Skelly's question is, do you feel at any point Frosty Camel Rich was not entirely forthright with staff? If so, did that factor into their punishment? Not really, actually. We just based it on the logs that were provided, and the fact that, considering that this is not your typical disrespect where it's usually like a double warning or something like that. This was continuous, very intentional, like first degree sort of harassment. Like, this was a lot of personal information about, like, very targeted against Cody, just a lot of hatred towards Cody. I'll even go as far to say, and that sort of stuff is just, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know what I don't know what Cody did to justify or cause that, like, them to do that sort of thing. So yeah.
As again, Skelly, as he said, their forthrightness or any instance the investigation did not factor into this. The only thing that factored into the indefinite ban was the harassment that was done.
Yeah, regardless of whether they apologized for this or, you know, showed regret for it, it still happened. It still had repercussions, and that is simply not acceptable. So that is why we've decided to ban them from the server.
Yeah.
Castle is no longer double warned, but he is not a mod. He is being terminated, and he is unlikely to be allowed to return to the position.
He will not. As long as either Frumple or I are here, he will be vetoed.
I will veto him if he ever decides to return. So.
Mike, can you define what you're considering as harassment? Okay. Yes. Let's say. Okay, making incredibly belittling comments about someone who's not in the group chat to a group chat.
Yeah. Starting
a town literally to prevent someone else from being able to build there, like it was claimed to be a spite town. Other staff can jump in with.
Yeah, just to be clear, harassment doesn't even have to be that the victim has to be aware of it. Cody actually wasn't aware that this was happening. But in the chat, it's very clear to see that they were trying to stop. There was one, they were trying. Rich tried to start a town that was trying to block Seal Land from expanding to the coast. That is explicitly in those logs. There's another case where apparently I was, evaluating Seal Land for like a senator rank, I believe, and they were in live chat trying to influence me and make me look at like land scars or point out buildings that were not actually original builds and that sort of thing. Like, it was very directed. It was yeah. They were definitely trying to get, like,
they had an axe to grind against Cody, and we don't know why, but
yeah,
what we do know is that they took specific actions to try and make his experience on the server worse than everybody else's, and they were directly targeted at Cody.
Mm-hmm. To answer Sasha's question, so they did not technically get punished for doxing. Okay, so let's define this. There's when I was talking with staff in the private portion of GSM, I split this up into 3 parts. There's the finding of personal information, there's the sharing and posting of personal information, and then there's harassment. When it comes to finding information, that's the inconclusive part. We don't, like, Castle denies it, Frosty denies it, Camel denies it happening. Rurich doesn't explicitly say it, so we also don't know there either. Like, we don't know who exactly was the perpetrator for finding the information. So we decided to just set that aside and focus on the other 2. When it comes to sharing and posting personal information, yes, definitely, Rurich was probably the I could say the point man of posting information into that chat and sharing it with Camel and Frosty. Camel and Frosty did also, in some specific times, did also join in and share like specific profiles and that sort of thing. But so they are getting punished for that in a sense, but the main thing is the harassment. The main thing is them, again, being very directly trying to essentially ruined Cody's experience on the server. So. I hope that answers people's questions. If you have any follow-ups. We don't know.
I'm just looking to see if there's any new questions coming in the meeting channel. Because I think we've answered everything.
Double check.
Yeah.
Well, did DPS, what happened? Well,
we will put a summary up later, but 3 players got banned, 1 got double wand, and Castle's double wand has been rescinded.
Yay, my first blog post will be fun.
Yeah, you get to have fun. Yeah, Cece's doing the propaganda this time, everybody. So
Wish me luck.
Isn't this from Kev? Isn't this isn't until proven guilty?
Again, I think. Sorry, go ahead, IP.
Last weekend, we made a decision based on all the evidence we had at the time. At the time, the evidence pointed very heavily towards Castle being heavily involved in this. Obviously, in light of everything that has come out over the last week, we realised that, yes, Castle was probably not involved in this specific incident. However, they will still never be on staff again because of unrelated incidents from the many previous years.
Again,
to answer that question, to answer the question of innocent until proven guilty, that's generally how we try to operate. And the evidence that we had last week certainly seemed like Castle was involved. The evidence that we received over the last 7 days has now cast enough of a doubt on that we're questioning that decision, and as such, that specific charge has been rescinded.
Yep. But I do have to remind everyone, again, there's most important rule number 3, which does say that when we feel deemed necessary, we will make the necessary action. And that's what we did last week. Like, we can make mistakes, and you know, we're going to roll back that. But at the end of the day, like, we will be making decisions that we feel that are in the best interest of the community. So,
yeah.
That's a question.
Who else has one? Sorry.
In meeting live.
No, who else? Oh, I've heard that there were other people involved in the town blocking. Cody, will this be investigated?
I mean, is there? Yeah, I guess the first one is if you have any evidence or anything that you can present it privately, then it'll be looked into if there's any case for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The evidence right now, the only evidence that we had was that Wirch was doing it.
And
if you know of any others, send us the evidence that you have, and we'll take a look.
And Mike, I'm going to be very explicit to you because I've talked to you before. Make sure it is actual evidence, not hearsay, because hearsay is not going to be enough, unfortunately. You have to have explicit evidence. That was one. I'm gonna rant a little bit up here because that was one of the biggest problems when Volp and I were talking to people. There was quite a bit of hearsay, and trying to filter that out from the actual valid concerns was very frustrating. So be sure to be very specific about your complaints.
Not Short has a viewer question.
Sure, Not Short.
Yeah, go ahead and just post it, Not Short.
I mean, can we unmute him to ask?
Well, post it or if you want.
He's typing.
Different typing, so it's a little late.
It's fine.
Oh, he does. You can mute him apparently.
You are unmuted, Not Short.
Okay, so King Snake, he asked in chat, what can you do if you're falsely accused of harassment?
I mean, if you are falsely accused, I don't think it would get to this point because you have pretty clear evidence that the 3 people that were banned did participate in this harassment.
I don't know if he's just asking generally or he's asking in in this particular situation.
To just
In general, we don't make these sort of decisions without pretty clear evidence. And for the 3 players that were indefinitely banned, the evidence was clear that they were involved in it.
The next question is.
I'm going to answer. I'm sorry. I'm going to answer Kev's question. Like, I will admit, I have, again, based on the context of what Castle has done before, I do not have the most positive view of him as a staff. Unfortunately, because of the events that have happened, I wish I had banned him in 2018, just based on what he did back then. But because of what happened, he wasn't. And then since then, because of that decision that I made, people got hurt from it. People got excluded from it. Like, he was allowed to continue. And frankly, I mean, people want me to apologize to him. I'm not going to. So
I will say,
Yes, go ahead.
I will say that if we make the right decisions here, hopefully at no point in the future will we ever have to revisit a topic like this. Never again will anybody have to do an investigation if we do things correctly.
Yeah. If anything, if I to apologize, I will apologize for not banning Castle back then.
I think I feel the question's more about. I don't think about like the behavior at all. I think the question that they're asking more is on the kind of the doxing situation specifically.
I understand that, but quite frankly, at this point, I want Castle off the staff team. Like, the problem is I did not have the evidence available at the time, so.
And we'll say something that has come up several times during this, is that many other staffers felt uncomfortable whistleblowing when it came to Castle because of seniority or the having this entrenched social group. I know even myself as an admin felt uncomfortable around Castle, around reporting. Well, I can't say I ever saw anything explicitly against the rules, but I felt like he had that aura of seniority that many other staff did not.
And I will also mention to Dalt specifically that, this particular incident, we were not sure who did the initial finding. And with this chat, it's now calling into question who was, doing the finding and doing some of the spreading. Here's the thing. Castle, we know that he has done this before. So the label is still accurate, even if it might or might not apply to this situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can keep arguing it. I'm not going to apologize. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't feel like, I know we definitely made a mistake. We didn't have the full information, but at the time that was the information that we had. So the decision that we made, I think, was still the right one to do.
Knowing what we knew then.
Yeah.
Kitty is asking you to specify what has been done before.
Kitty, you can look at the personal statement that I wrote that I think most people may have not read. That was posted in announcements yesterday.
I think, I guess to address Mike's comment, the main reason I think people are calling them is I don't think anyone is trying to absolve Castle of the behavioral, like the behavior and like the stuff like that, because I think almost all staff agreed that was not acceptable and that's the reason it got demoted. But I think the main argument that we're kind of discussing here is whether it's about the doxing itself. That is like separate from the motion, because the motion's already done. We're not going back on that. The doxing part is what we're kind of discussing, and the argument is whether or not an apology should be had. Like that's the argument we're having right now.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I think when we made the statement, I'll apologize for this. When we made this statement about Castle, what we should have done is focus on the main reason why we demoted him and give him the warning was mainly because of his behavior. not because of doxing. We did tell Castle that we had suspicions that he was at least aware or at least involved in it. But the main thing was for the disrespect. But unfortunately, the wording of that statement was flipped, such that it was, and that's my fault personally, because I should have changed the emphasis of that statement to be on the behavior, not on the doxing.
We'd like to apologise to the community for taking so long to take action. But again, the apology is in no way directed towards Castle.
I'm just saying it might be good to say maybe a public statement just saying no, we aren't sure he did it for this incident, that he did do it in the past, but again, you've already said that, haven't we?
We have
many times.
And again, for the evidence, look at what Frumple has posted in his thing. I mean, I was involved in those conversations and that incident. Like, it's
We have concrete proof that stuff like this has happened previously. Not this specific incident, but yes.
Anyway, are there other questions? Okay, I am seeing a couple questions from a while ago, just asking for if there was a list of people who potentially were compromised. So I think someone had it in their statement. Otherwise, we also don't. If we had a list, it would be in our and the people's interest for us to not release it and to contact them privately. I would say if you believe or if you were actually targeted by this, then hopefully, then you would know this by now. So,
yeah. We are seeing suggestions from some members of community in chat that we should be apologising to Castle, and in complete honesty, on a personal level, I think I agree. On a professional level, this wasn't just a blind accusation. This is something that he has done before.
Okay, I don't know what you guys want from me, but on a personal level, I don't agree with giving him an apology, to be really honest. Yeah, and I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't feel comfortable with it. We know Castle didn't. We don't know whether Castle doxed or not. All we know that the evidence is inconclusive.
Modern, we are not going to answer that question for the protection of the people involved. There is a list, but yeah.
It's not appropriate for us to release that.
No, not at all.
This is going to almost certainly be a protracted argument over the span of days.
Yeah.
If any of you want to talk with me directly about it, I can do that if you want me to explain my reasoning. But
anyway.
I mean, yes, we will admit we should have taken action with Castle a long, long time ago.
Dull. He is. Does that apply to this situation? We don't know, but we know that he is, or that he has done it before. We're not apologizing for that.
Yeah. It's very possible. It's very possible that he didn't do anything in this instance, but there is a precedent.
I think we're sort of
we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, this is very much going around in circles. Is it worth moving on to the 5A about how we can sort of move on from here?
Let's do that.
Yeah, I think so. So 5A, moving on to the future of the server.
Just hold on a second. I wrote notes. Let me go get them.
What?
Oh.
Need 1 second. I wrote some notes down there because I was deaf.
For this item or for something else?
Volpe be saying, I have notes.
Oh no.
Volpe saying I have notes is a very bad sign.
Not necessarily.
What? Me having notes is bad sign. No, these are completely different. I swear to God. I mean, I've only got it's like this little page. It's just a few pages, maybe a bit of fan fiction between Frumple and the what are we talking about?
Okay, can we get into the actual meeting, please?
Sorry.
5A. 5A.
Yeah, there's the link to 5A for all the meeting for people meeting live.
Dell, if you want to talk about this after, I am open to that. And I understand that this is not going to sit well for a lot of people. And frankly, if I just say I apologize now, you're not going to believe me, to be really honest. So, yeah.
We'll worry about Castle's assets at a later time. It's not appropriate at this time to be discussing about his assets.
Yeah. Castle isn't banned. Castle is still an active member of the server. We'll worry about that in the same way that we worry about everyone else's assets on the server if they're inactive.
For those who have been indefinitely banned, the deputy mayors can immediately succeed their towns if they wish, or you can wait for, or you can go through the inactive asset transfer, but like I would say, just out of respect, to please hold. Okay, moving into 5. Well, yeah, again, deputy mayors of towns can do it. Everything else is on hold. So, yeah, okay. Let's move on to talking about moderator nomination processes.
It's linked in Meeting Live for anyone that wants to read it and pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, since I'm the one who wrote this, I'll lead discussion on this. Yeah, I'm not sure where to start on this one.
Reading the title's a good start.
Sorry, what was that?
You could, yeah, I mean, I was just going to say reading the title's a good start.
Okay.
Damn it, Volpe.
Oh my lord.
So, when Volpicula and I talked to a whole bunch of people, like the main common complaint was people didn't feel like their voices were heard when it comes to the nomination process. It's very opaque. They didn't know what was going on. When we rejected a candidate, no information was given out. So yeah. So and also one thing that really stood out to me was when staff can say positive or negative things about in the private portion. Like we could say positive and negative things about candidates, but everyone else could only say positive things because nominations, that's what they're supposed to be. There was no way for members to express negative feedback about candidates. So that needed to be rectified. The one thing, basically the new process, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, is it's going to require open and honest feedback from everyone involved. And I guess one of the reasons why we haven't done this is we thought that there was a notion that we thought that the community wasn't mature enough to have these conversations. Like a lot of these conversations are going to be very personal. They're going to be about character, like basically a person's character or personality or things they've done. And I know for some people in this community, or a few people in this community, they may not be at that point. I do believe that most people, though, right now are at that point. So I think this process, I think in that sense, the process is viable in that sense. I guess I'll just go over the process itself. So this will mean that all nominations will be public. I'm not going to put any restrictions. I think for initially we shouldn't put any restrictions on what the quality of these nominations should be, but we should strongly encourage that they should be detailed and they should have concrete evidence if possible. The reason for this is because I also want people to see like what kind of nominations we receive, basically, because I think a lot of people don't see that. We do get a lot of nominations that are very basic. They usually go along the lines of, this person should be mod because they're nice and friendly, or this person should not be mod because I just don't like them. Like, that's not good enough. It needs to be a bit more concrete than that. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to get some relevancy to nominations, we really value ones where there's like logs and pictures, screenshots really proving this person should be a mod because of, look, here's how they acted, versus us trying to go off of kind of hearsay events of, well, this person told me. It's hard, especially like in the private portion, it's harder for us to fight. But bringing it to public, there's opportunity for more people to give their feedback, but also cover aspects that maybe we're not talking about in a candidate. Because maybe we miss something. There's an opportunity for people to kind of bring up their points that we might be forgetting.
Mm-hmm. And to be clear, like, there is going to be the whole mumble crowd situation. Like, there is still going to be a benefit if you are active in voice chat. It does make it easier for people to know who you are, and to actually understand your emotions and your personality and that sort of thing. So there is always going to be that advantage. That can't go. That's unfortunately not going to go away anytime soon. But at least with this new process, people who are not on Mumble can at least bring up any positive or negative feedback, like, officially. And so it's not just with staff just knowing our friends, for example, or knowing people through voice chat.
From Paul, I don't know if you added the comments. I know you answered them in forum, but I guess do you want to revoice the questions that you had from Metromap about the proposal?
If you want to go switch it.
About the audit mechanism at the very end of his comments.
Yeah. I'm just watching the live chat, though. It seems to be other stuff right now, so maybe I'm going to pause here for a sec here.
Yeah, Frumple, if you don't want your chat to get drowned out by people arguing about alcohol, you may want to leave P2.
No, I'm talking about the previous discussion because I feel like some people are still talking about that. P-Tilde, you can ask a question now if you'd like.
Yeah. Do you want me to mute you, P-Tilde, or are you going to type?
I think he wants to speak.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm mute.
There you go, P-Tilde.
So mainly my question is, so what are you looking for in a nomination? Like, how much evidence? Do I need to like show you all logs? Do I need to, if I want to nominate someone for mod, do I need to spend a lot of, like, almost like a week's worth of time do all my time on the server trying to find evidence to support them? Like, how much hard evidence do you want?
I wouldn't say that much, but we'd like a few solid examples.
Yeah.
More is better, but don't lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I would even say, P-Tilde, try to go for don't stuff your nomination with a lot of evidence. That can actually detract from it because it's a lot of information to take in. I'd suggest go for the big things that can convince people, or you think that can convince people.
In particular, if you look at the ranks page, we've got a list of the number of the qualities we look for in a moderator. If you can get a couple of examples that sort of exemplify it, at least a couple of those, like, don't have examples just focused on one of those tenets.
Echo says, I just don't want staff to hold back with possible issues that they may have with candidates because the candidate is listening. Are you talking about the public chat? Like, because we are good, because the discussion, yeah. I don't know if that's going to be an issue because,
unless one of the main reasons why we put it in the prior portion to begin with was because of how openly we're talking about a particular nomination.
Yeah, basically we're kind of fearing hurting other people's feelings, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But the new process is basically saying, I think people are mature enough to deal with that at this point. Like,
I've seen adults that have not been mature in receiving that type of criticism.
Sure, if that happens, then well. Here's the thing. Also remember that when a candidate when we ask someone to be a candidate, we are going to ask them all. Like, we're going to remind them that basically they're going to be attacked from all sides. Like, they're going to be criticized. They're going to be vetted with positive and negative feedback. Some of it might not be valid, right? The candidate will be able to defend themselves, and we do expect them to do that. But they need to have, I guess, to put it mildly, like a thick skin to be able to respond to those things in a civil manner. Like, if they can't if they can't do that, then they probably shouldn't be a candidate, to be honest.
I might have missed that. Are you gonna say, hey, you've been nominated, and do you want to continue with this?
Correct. Or? Yeah, correct. Because there may be some people who don't want to be a candidate and don't want to actually be vetted in that way. They might not be. They might not feel comfortable with it. So.
And that's a little better, because that was my main concern was, all of a sudden we're, somebody's gonna nominate somebody, and then all of a sudden they're gonna be throwing the fire, and it's like, wait up.
Nope.
No
one
want to do it that way then.
No. And candidates will also have the option to remove themselves from consideration at any time. If for some reason something comes up, or if they realize that this isn't something that they want to do, candidates will be able to contact an admin or an existing staff member and ask us to remove them. So. And there's no reason required. Like, if they don't want to do it for any reason, like, we're not going to ask why. It's not, frankly, not something that we need to know. So, but yeah, no. And to be clear, that ask will, like, that invite to become a candidate will come from Frumple or me, because Frumple will just to make sure that there's no veto issues, and just to make sure that that everything is all done right. That ask, once they get the second nomination, will be cleared by either Frumple or myself. So,
Mike asked, if the feedback on a candidate is 50-50, are they carried over to be renominated? So keep in mind that the actual decision-making process is still held by staff. And and I'm going to make this very clear about the voting process, because I think there's been some confusion about it. Like, how we've operated is it's not a simple 50% majority of 4 votes. It has to be in consensus or near consensus. So this is to ensure that, if there's enough people saying no to a staff, like at least, I think I said at least 2 or more than 2 people, then that indicates that maybe there's gonna, I want to make sure that the staff is a cohesive group, right? I don't want to have any sort of disagreement in there. So and to be clear, this is how we've pretty much done it privately. It just hasn't been publicly. It also hasn't been really defined, I should say. So.
Well, especially because we usually just kind of do it by consensus decision making rather than a formal vote on a lot of people. Like, we've done some formal ballots, but formal ballots are kind of rare. This would make formal ballots on every candidate. So this would like, if it's not a clear consensus yes, then this would have us open a ballot, and staff would cast an actual formal vote on this. Volpe, you wanted to say something?
Sorry, yes, sir. I did actually have a question about the voting system itself, or maybe Tom did mention that one of the things that we would be losing the system is the ability for staff members to speak their mind fully. I did have an idea, potentially. More so just a question, I guess. Will the ballots or votes be secret? Like, will we just jot them down on a document and nobody really knows who said what and who made the final decision? Or will everybody's vote be tied to themselves publicly?
public, because again, this process, it's called the open nomination process for a reason. I want to blow everything open, because I think a lot of the problems of the community has been basically because we've been trying to keep things too private, I think. A better way of maybe saying this, I want to practice what is, I don't know if this is accurate, but basically radical honesty. So if in general, when it comes to any sort of questions like that, we'll try to lean toward being open about it.
I did also have one other thing. Would it be possible to also like, you know, in the case of vote, I'm not sure if we can even do this now, but would it be possible to recuse yourself? Like, if you've got somebody that is a close friend, their nominations come up, and you don't trust yourself to be objective, would it be possible to take a step back?
That's totally fine. That's actually happened in private portions before, actually.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Volpe, the voting options are yes, no, and abstain.
Okay.
So.
And one last question. This is literally all of my notes. Would people? I did see this kind of brought up. Like, would people be able to actually just nominate themselves? Like, I don't think they should be able to. But would this be possible?
That's still not allowed.
Good. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
My notes are really inefficient. I took like a whole freaking page for those 3 things.
Yes, right away. It still requires 2 separate nominations.
Yep.
Question I got is for as part of the process, saying that basically in a Discord channel, that's when members say their piece about the nomination. What if somebody doesn't feel comfortable putting that information out on public forum?
So here's the thing. Unfortunately, unfortunately for this process, we can't have an anonymity, because that may encourage people to, say, slander someone by spamming anonymous feedback.
Yeah.
But also, I think people need to be accountable for their own opinions here.
Question for Meow is whether staff comments will be available also for members to see.
Absolutely, yes.
Staff will just need to make them in the text of the document rather than using the Google Docs like comment on the side feature, but for general purposes, like, you know, staff will be able to submit feedback. Yeah. And I would say, you know, just a reminder that there are 2 ways to kind of submit things. You can either talk about them in the individual Discord channel, or you will be able to submit something to us that we can then put on the agenda.
Are you trying to speak Skilly, or what? I just saw staff question mark.
Skelly, no, he asked a question before, and I presume that obviously people cannot try to canvass publicly or privately for nominations.
May I ask, will these 2 forms of feedback be considered differently? Well, I mean, it's up to everyone to make that judgment, or the people will weigh opinions like on their own, I guess. So, but they'll
I
be
would
just,
say,
yeah.
They'll be listed. Officially speaking, the only one that's going to be like persistent and like really easy for everybody to find is the ones that people submit to us that go on the agenda. The conversation that happens in the channel, that's still valid and it's still really useful, but it may have a smaller weight just based on individuals. Officially speaking, they're both valid ways to submit feedback.
And it might be the case where if you discuss something in the specific channel, you might want to submit it to the agenda so it's definitely seen at the time.
Yep.
I mean, it's also just like the first generation of it. Like, this process can change, and if we want to make any tweaks to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do not expect this to work perfectly first time. However,
we hope
we are trying.
We hope it works well, but it's not going to be perfect.
Test in production, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Skelly, I didn't forget your question, Skelly. I'll come back to it in a second. Actually, I'll come back to it right now. So the question that Skelly had is about people soliciting nominations or canvassing for nominations or any of that sort of stuff. Yeah, I would say that subverts the process.
Yeah.
You should still be like earning your nominations. It is going to be a bit trickier just because like once your second one is on, then it will be public. But yeah.
I mean, I will. I will say that the campaigning or canvassing for nominations isn't exactly something that hasn't happened already, even in the private portion. And at the very least, in this case, when it does happen, it'll be a bit more obvious, and people will be able to probably see it a lot better.
For campaigning for votes, you mean, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
hold on. Yeah, there's a difference here. Like, if you're asking for nominations, that's not okay. But if someone's already nominated and you want to be a cheerleader for someone, sure. Like,
we're not going to stop you because
it does get. Sorry, go ahead, Chief.
Well, you and I are probably thinking the same thing of it does drown out the conversation if you are trying to cheerlead and do that because the main thing is that we want to leave the conversation for constructive feedback, letting the candidate answer questions, letting the community as a whole and staff in particular be able to judge the candidate for whether they'd be a good fit for service.
Yeah, actually, I would even go as far if someone does that to an excessive extent, that would be considered pretty uncivil behavior when it comes to debating, because again, drowning out other people. So we would take action based on that if that happened.
Yeah. And I would say that like action in this case could mean, as little as disqualification from the process or, even if it's not like a formal warning. So there are other options in this case too. To answer Red Ray's question, where exactly will we share our feedback in hash form or will there be a separate channel? So we're going to create, basically once a candidate gets their second nomination, then there will be a Discord channel dedicated to discussing that candidate. So that'll be the place for that candidate, and of course, sharing feedback with us through the agenda comments will also be an option.
What do you mean by soliciting feedback? Like. Oh, okay, I see. Skelly's asking, I believe meow means if you went around to your friends and, hey, can you say something nice in the feedback channel?
So Skelly, that's not genuine.
That's not genuine either, so.
We want to avoid that.
I'd imagine if you're...
Yeah. As a candidate, like the main involvement that you as a candidate should be involved in the process is responding to, like, you should be in a more reactionary response, like responding to feedback that others have. That's great. And like, having conversations with people just about like other things, like obviously that's not related and we don't care about that, but like for a candidate, like you should not be asking other people to further your own process, like because you're essentially interfering with the public feedback perspective. I would say even asking for a review does feel weird. So I would say please don't, just for the integrity of the process.
It probably goes as a given, but if you or maybe a friend of yours is caught actively trying to skew the process, there is definite warning grounds there. Same way that asking for nominations could get you a warning or a veto.
Yeah, I mean, the previous procedure has been on a first offense, you're disqualified. On a second or subsequent, it's a formal warning.
And I'd also say that again, if you're friends with a guy and you're working 90 days trying to get him in the mod position, you can end up inadvertently, is that the word? Inadvertently torpedoing his own campaign. So be mindful.
Yeah, this is not politics. Like, this is not a political thing. There is no limit to the number of moderator seats that we have.
Yeah.
So,
no, hold on. It is political in a way that the person who's a candidate does need to gain favor from not just one part of the community, like as much as the community as possible. So
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But what I mean is like there's no like campaigning or partisan stuff like that.
Let's put that on. I don't know if that's going to be a thing.
Right.
I don't, and I'm not sure also if that's a good thing or a bad thing even. Right. Like I think that's one of those. I think this is an unknown thing.
Okay.
I think for now let's leave it alone. If it does become like say a toxic thing that people don't like to see, then we can make changes. But right. I think it's we're just leaving it open for now, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and again, yeah. But my point was like there's no like so there is a technical hard limit on how many admins we can have because of our Google Suite configuration and that license, but there is no technical limit for the number of moderators we can have. There is a practical limit, but there's not a, you know, if we get 10 candidates and all of them are fantastic, let's promote all of them. Right. I mean, especially right now when we frankly need more. So
okay. No, we're not going to promote
everybody. On the mod team.
We're not promoting everyone, but I know you're kidding. Okay.
To answer Wipeout's question, Wipeout, look at the example timeline. This will show. I think we'll show it a lot better on the document. Basically, when the first nomination happens, that's not publicly announced yet. We still have to go talk to the person if they even want to be a candidate. If they accept, that's still not public either, because what we want to make sure is we don't want like one candidate to have an advantage, like a time advantage in terms of debate time over another. So the candidate will be added to the agenda, and then when the agenda is released, all the candidates will essentially they'll all have the same start, and they'll all have the same debate time.
Yeah. So yeah, because nominations for moderators will now close when the agenda is released. So if that makes sense.
We want to make it as fair and open as possible.
Didn't you call it Glasnost or something, Crumple? Did I pronounce that wrong? I remember
well, I was trying to explain like so for that I'm trying to explain because I was expecting some people might it's one of the criticism in here, like they'll say, oh, this is not democratic enough, and the way I describe it is Glasnost, which means openness. That's a term that was used in the Soviet Union just before it collapsed. But basically, Gorbachev was saying like he didn't want to make things like just go straight to democracy, but he wanted to open things up. Hence, Glasnost. That include things like opening borders, though we know how well that happened, how that worked out. So, but it's sort of
what
similar.
You're saying is we're not opening the border.
Yes, by doing this, the server will collapse because everyone is too open, and yeah, I don't know. But
maybe citing examples from a system that collapsed horribly is not great.
Fuck it.
Okay. Well, whilst it might not work for a country, it probably does work for a community.
Yeah, no.
Well, for a Minecraft server.
Yeah, but basically, this opening things up. It's not a democratic thing. It's not democratizing it, like in that sense.
At least in this case, we're giving the members a lot more voice, though, in the sake of moderator, like in the sense of moderators.
It's voice that they should have had in the first place, unfortunately, but because we had the old process in place for so long, then we sort of got used to that way of doing things. So we didn't realize that there were problems that came out of it. So
this seems to be winding down. I'd like to move to approve this and move on to the next item.
Well, actually, there's still hold on. There's still some other things about this process. Sorry.
Oh wait, hang on. There's the question still outstanding of what
there's several
of existing.
There's several questions. So the first one is, what about existing staff members? Should they go through the process also? I know MetroMap. This is basically addressing MetroMap in a way. His question was more like if there's going to be a review process. I think we can discuss that later. because I think we just need to get through the first batch and see how well it goes first before we can make any decisions. But also, I mean, because there's been a lot of staff changes, and we asked Dalt to go through it, and Echo and Masi will probably go through it in 3 months' time. Like, what about the rest of the staff? I'm actually surprised this question hasn't come up because I mean, it's fair, right? So I did outline that we could do that, but that might get pretty time consuming. And considering the events that's happened, I'm not sure if the server is honestly an emotional state to go through it. So I'm actually curious of people's opinions on this.
I do have an opinion. Maybe not next month, because next month in November we're going to have a big wave of, most likely, I mean, I can imagine that a lot of people are going to submit a lot of nominations. But maybe in December, maybe we could do it then.
My only comment on it is it feels like it's sort of, we're already put in a frame of mind that they are a staff member already. So I'm questioning what the utility will be when they are already in that role, and like it almost feels like one-sided.
The utility of that, gods, is because again, all of the staff that have been up to this point, like except for myself, really, is they've been approved through the old process, and in that old process, no one was able to give any negative feedback when they were nominated. Also, because it's been staff for so long, there's not been any sort of audit process. So basically what this would be an audit of the existing staff members to see where they are at. If there's any, and it can be a constructive process too, because if there's constructive feedback that maybe things that they could improve or things that they might be missing, I think that's useful. I think that's useful for the staff to know it. It's useful for the members to express that. So
Yeah,
like that's a partial truth, because I know that this isn't public, but you know what I'm alluding to, Frumple.
What are you alluding to, actually?
That a few staff members were audited.
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
Not by the public.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm not understanding your point. Sorry.
So occasionally we do audits. We as admins do audit staff for activity levels. For example, with Cal.
No. Sorry. No. I mean, admins will do it. Like we'll talk to other staff about. Like I'll do it to talk to other people. What I'm more talking about is public opinion. What do other people think about you? Right.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Volpe, go.
So I keep trying to speak, and then I get interrupted, and then I go quiet because I don't want to break up the flow. Personal thoughts on this matter, I do like the idea of an audit. I think it'd be incredibly helpful for both the moderators and the community, because it lets the community see why these people are still on the staff team. And in my case, it would at the very least give me a sense of what to do wrong. Like if every time I tend to fuck up as a moderator and get told off for it, I usually think I do better as a result, because I'm basically told outright what I need to do better. Having that on a community scale would probably be quite beneficial. And even if we don't go through this, I personally wouldn't mind just running through the system myself.
I think that if that's the case, then we should probably call it a community audit rather than like a renomination. I feel like
because
terminology was throwing me off a little.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's where I was going wrong as well, because I was thinking like we would have to source nominations for ourselves, but would it just be we're automatically added to the list and people can put forward?
It's just I guess an opportunity. We'll frame this as an opportunity for I'm in favor of that.
Getting
feedback.
I was sort of thinking that it would be okay. You're not necessarily a staff member. You need to be nominated by 2 people, and then we'll have a discussion if we're keeping you.
Yeah.
But if we're phrasing it as an audit of current staff, then I can see that.
To be really honest, I'm also not expecting anyone, because I'm not expecting anyone, any of the existing staff, to get to that level of negativity. I hope. I'm not sure, but yeah. There's also the problem of, I mean, there's myself, and I mean, I'm not sure. I could put myself in front of the process, but you can't remove me. So, I mean, what's this?
I mean, we can try.
I'm sure you could, but it's. I think to be fair, I will put myself and open myself up to feedback, and I know there's certainly going to be some negative feedback about me. I've heard it a lot. I'd probably produced it from this meeting itself. So, like, yeah, but it as long as people don't expect that. Oh no, like if everyone hates Frumple, that means he's going to be deposed. No, that means some serious things need to be. I need to think about things about. To be honest, so.
Volk, just go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I keep doing this. That's actually really helpful for me. Sorry. With the audit, I do have one or two final questions. If we are to do the audit, would this be a one-time thing? Would this be a yearly or more regular thing?
Yeah, no, for now, because it's a situation we're in, the existing mod should go through the audit. When it comes to afterward, like think of this. Like what I'm thinking is maybe I know. Who was suggesting December? Was it Vicky, Volp?
Vicky.
Yeah.
Vicky.
Yeah. Maybe actually we should do it just now. Just get it over with. Before we get to the new nominations in November. Like this will be
now is in October or now is in November?
Now is in October. Yeah.
Oh.
Because
oh boy.
Is it worth letting people formulate messages if they want to, though?
Sorry, what do you mean by that?
If people want to like make an actual statement regarding someone, is it best to give them at least the time to think about it rather than saying speak now or forever hold your peace, especially for people that aren't here today, for instance?
Oh no. I think how this is going to work is I think maybe I was thinking on a week by week basis there'll be like we're not going to do all moderators or all admins now, but we'll have
like we would just sit now in the meeting. Let's go.
No, that's not what. No, sorry, that's not what I'm proposing.
That's what you meant. Sorry,
that's not what I'm proposing. Sorry, we'll clarify. Like each week as we go through, we'll select a subset of admins and mods who will be up for feedback, and then people can post them in the Discord channel or email them, and then we'll take it. And then this will be sort of I guess what's the term? It's like a test run. Like a trial run, like a pre-trial run, because we'll do this first, and then we'll do the new moderators in the November GSM, and then hopefully that'll go well. It should give us a good sense of how well this is going to work, right? So,
Skelly's asking if we can hold a week before doing the first one, just given kind of let everything settle.
That's probably a good idea.
But,
yeah. Actually,
I agree.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion.
And then there's the question of how we decide in what order.
I would probably just do random.org and randomize the list.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we'll figure it. I don't think the order matters that much. It's just that when it's just different weeks I just don't want all the mods at one week. That's a bit too much, right? So
that would be an overload for people.
Well, there is one. So November GSM, when's the November GSM again?
It's the
4 weeks.
14th.
Yeah, it's quite a bit away.
14th. So yeah, there's 4 weeks. If we give a week before then, there'd be 2.
There's actually 5 weeks.
So
5 weeks.
So actually, if we take this week off, then next week is one. There's a week after could be another. Moderator nomination.
But the week before the GSM.
We would need to,
Sorry. So there's basically 3 weeks that are open for us, because the week before GSM is for discussing new moderators. So yeah, I think it's doable with the staff that we have.
Yeah, we can do it in the span of 3 weeks. That's fine.
Worski, please don't take the trustee donkey. It's got vital documents, and by vital documents I mean Chiefs Entertainment. Would you just get off it?
I already have a copy. I have a copy.
Okay.
In terms of who is like there's 12 staff excluding Frumple. So
6 per week.
So no, there's 3 weeks that we'd be doing it. So 4
per week.
Yeah, that's very doable.
Yeah.
So we can handle that. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so that addresses that question then.
All right. Do we have anything else we need to talk about in 5A, or can we move on?
I think we've got a general idea of what's to move forward. So the system's being implemented, no secret ballots, the audit's coming sometime October. Am I getting that right?
Yes, it's gonna.
Not this week, but next week.
So
yeah, we'll handle that as admins.
Sorry, I'm sorry to extend this. There's another open question though. It's the one I added toward after I post the process. It's regarding what kind of evidence can people post. It's the last question, or second, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for simplicity, I would say, and also just to better handle all the file sizes and everything, if we just kept it to text evidence, that keeps it really easy and also doesn't get into recording questions. I know that like voice stuff is valuable from like the kind of getting to know somebody, but like again, the conversations have happened that are like, okay, like that raises a whole number of ethical and legal questions.
My opinion of it is that the original 2 or 3 nominations, whatever we decide, they should have to give actual circumstantial evidence. We should be able to look, like chat logs, for instance. We should be able to look at that and form our own opinion. Any other opinion submitted after that, I would be fine with being opinion based because it's not the original nominations.
Yeah, this is only talking about the nominations.
Oh, okay.
Sasha has a question now.
No. This is talking about feedback too. Like people, yeah, like people can post these in feedback as well, and some of them might be negative, right? So, so what do people think about like? So it sounds like audio. Maybe we should just not bother. It's not used that much anyway, but I think I can see also other issues of audio because you have to recognize the voice in the recording and all that.
Plus, like, someone probably knows they're being recorded, so then it's like, are they just putting this on for the sake of the recording?
I could see someone maybe making an ad for someone's nomination, but this way.
Oh no!
Yeah, but
Foobar for mod.
Yeah, I was like, vote ? Those things again that Kitty did.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about text chat is that it's well known that at the very least we have a server log of it, and it's assumed that other people may know how to pull it from their client logs.
Yeah,
and also we have,
and it's in Discord.
Yeah, people can just search for a particular chat in Discord, and it's right there.
Yeah, that's why I made that separate from the other publicly available source. It's a little different.
Yeah, I'd rather just not bother with audio.
Okay, so
like I understand that it's valuable, especially from again that soft side, but in terms of evidence, like I wouldn't consider it admissible. So
I was asking, do we have to ask the candidate for permission before posting via? What exactly? What? No. What?
The only spot that could come up is in like private DMs. Like public chat is public already.
Yeah. So, so that's the thing I have up for question here, because I think for the rest of them, I think it's very clear, like this is allowed, that's not allowed, as I listed in the document. But there's, what about screenshots and chat logs from private conversations who are sent without the participant's consent? And these are in like one-on-ones or private groups. The thing is, I mean, in terms of the whole investigation that's all happened, like this has been critical in finding out, wrongdoing. But whether or not it should be just made public, that's a concern, because it is essentially a violation of privacy in that sense. What I'm thinking is maybe it could be if it's concerning enough that might be even like warning or even ban worthy, then you should still be sending that to staff, and staff can then make a decision of whether, if it is valid, and if it is, it at very least nullifies that person's candidacy, right?
I'd imagine that it would be possible that, if it is something severe, but we could, like, again, private DM evidence or whatnot, we could probably just withhold it from public view, but do give the gist of it if we are to take action on it, I'd imagine. Like how the investigation was.
Well, Volpe, the action in that case would have to be a disqualify. Like, I think that what we're saying is if we're going to be basing a decision on, like, if we get something that's bad enough that we need to keep it from the public, the candidate should be removed.
Yeah. This is the only part where I think not, because, I mean, we can't reveal the information, right? So that's the only non-open part of this. And that's... It depends on the sensitivity of the information. I would say, like, if it's, and usually it is. So, like,
yeah, I mean, I would say I would really like to get consent in order to have a DM or a group chat be admissible.
Yeah, we would probably ask the person if there are people involved or victims involved, for example, if we can get their permission. But we're not going to expect that. So,
yeah. I mean, and if you, as someone submitting something, have a DM or a group chat that if you don't want to approach them for some reason, but like you still want to submit it, like I think that's different because like asking for permission can sometimes be weird. So if you want to outsource that to staff, like I certainly I'll volunteer and say I'm happy to ask on your behalf if you want, but I would prefer you to do it directly. So.
Okay. All I'm saying is I think this is going to be a point of contention later on, possibly, because this is a gray area. So yeah. I would expect as discussions happen and as feedback is posted, someone may try to post private conversation, but it may not be as as what I would call an utmost concern. It might be just someone trying to, I guess, point out something about a candidate or something they've said in a private conversation. That I'm not sure how to deal with, to be really honest. Like if that happens.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah, I would say for stuff that I would consider, again, like admissible, that I would want consent from everybody involved. So,
but you probably won't get that usually. So
right. Yeah. So.
What I'm talking about is someone just posting directly to the, say the Discord channel with this sort of information.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That I'm not sure how to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't know either. I know Metro, as we were just talking about that, MetroMap also brought up the audio recordings.
We just said we're not taking audio recordings. We just those don't count at all.
Yep.
Like that's a pretty hard no. Just again, it's legally and ethically weird to deal with.
It's extremely legally questionable.
Yeah.
And due to the jurisdiction nightmare that would be trying to figure this out, don't.
Yeah, Sasha, it's recording audio outside of a GSM. Because during GSMs and big events that are being streamed, everyone knows that you're being streamed and you know that when you get in and stuff like that. That's different. Yeah. But we're talking about voice conversations that are ad hoc or just in Mumble or whatever. So Sasha, recording voice is not okay. Recording people actively typing, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're just taking a screenshot of a Discord conversation that is known to be stored as part of the public within the Discord.
Yeah. So Sasha, please do not submit either of those things.
Yeah.
Meow.
If you submit voice recordings, we may need to take action against you.
Yeah.
Don't put us in a position like that, please.
To answer Meow's question, do we ask for permission to submit private DMs that would help a candidate's case? That it would be great. Please do that. Hopefully, if it's something that will help their case, then they will be more than happy to give you permission to do that.
Yeah, but again, you need to receive permission to share private conversations.
Yeah,
and if you do not,
then we will be very angry.
We will be very angry. We don't want to violate people's privacy at all.
So just gonna divert, but I'd be curious to see what the overall community, what the overall community thoughts and opinions are on this after after we sort it out.
Yep, I think maybe we'll come back to this after. I think we're
Well,
running out of steam.
Are there
I
any?
think we've exhausted.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions that we still need to address, or can we?
I think we can approve this and move on.
Yeah,
I think we can approve.
It's going to be again,
unless it's community questions.
It's not. This process is not going to be perfect by any means. It's going to be adjusted and changed as we go, as we try it out. Really. So yeah, but in principle, I think we can improve it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Everyone's in favor.
Yeah.
Let's happy with it.
I'm definitely in favor.
All right. Hang on. To avoid everyone talking over each other. Okay. Motion to approve and move on. AP.
Yep. Approve.
Chief. Yes. Sinra.
Yes.
Frumple.
I wrote the damn thing.
No gods.
I wrote the damn thing.
CC.
Yep.
Wrote the
Tom.
Tom.
Tom is dead.
Tom's dead.
I would like to vote in favor of Tom and say yes.
You're
Therefore,
not Tom.
says yes.
Vicky.
I wrote the damn thing.
Yes.
Yep, Volpe.
Yes.
Yoshi.
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Approved. 5B.
5B. That's me too.
That's you too.
Yeah, I'll make this quick. There was going to be a beta server performance test, but then Mojang said, "Oh, we found a bug where basically when new chunks are generated, it causes the server to stall." Good job, Mojang. So
forever impressive.
So they're releasing a 1.16.4 soon. We don't know the date yet. So we're just gonna wait until that's all ready, and then Spigot makes their thing, and Paper makes their thing. I don't think plugins need to be updated, but I hope not. But yeah, like we're gonna wait on that. I don't know when. Armor stand tool still doesn't work. I think the plan.
Just to address an issue, existing armor stands won't be affected.
Yes, there's.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we might try.
Yeah, they started the game.
We might try to install another. There's another plugin called Advanced Armor Stands. I'm not sure in terms of the functionality if it's equivalent to armor stand tools, but I think the plan will be we'll update main server to 1.16.4 first, and then beta server will try the new plugin and see if that's good enough for us. So yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my brain off because this has been a lot. So have fun, guys.
So 5C, this is mine.
This is God, yeah.
So, well, it feels strange to actually be talking tonight. So this suggestion is talking about events, particularly with TAR as the most recent example. There's a lot of people that want to go into GM3 to observe the action, which is understandable. However, the issue comes that a lot of staff are typically involved in these events, so aren't able to do it. And it just becomes a burden, really, for those that are constantly having to put people in GM3. So this proposal is basically that I've said trustees, but we could talk about members as well. It is that they'll have access just during the event temporarily to be able to go into spectator mode.
How does that work? Is it permission mode? I'm just curious from the administrative side how it works.
It's in the doc.
Yeah, I'm really trying to understand it.
So it will just be a temporary permission like we give for the access to the meeting channel.
And like how we give kick exemptions, this would just be a permission that we would just grant to...
For 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, for the event.
Yeah, it's... God's actually put how the command works inside of the
agenda.
Portion.
Yeah, I was just reading. I was trying to understand it, like what all happens.
It just you allow people to go into spectator mode for 3 hours, and after 3 hours, the permission turns off again.
Got it.
PTLD, to answer the question of why don't we allow it in the first place, it's because it bypasses a few things. It lets you obviously no clip into blocks, and some people might not necessarily want you to be doing that. And it lets you teleport. Yeah, it lets you teleport to people without them even knowing that you're there. And if you know how during TAR, how teleporting to and actively spectating someone as opposed to just like flying near them, how that breaks elevators and causes all sorts of problems. Like, yeah, imagine doing that when people are just building their town. It's really annoying. So we don't allow it. So staff can do it like if you need it, and we're happy to give it out if you're doing something like, I know that a lot of people with Warpro companies that they just ask for spectator just to check tunnel lengths, absolutely no issue with that. We're happy to give it as much as you need to help you do your tunnels. So
yeah, to be clear, this doesn't address the members' perspective in a way that we still want that check outside of events that do they actually need spectator. This is more addressing the ease that a few staff will have to put 30 different people into spectator if an event is happening.
Yeah, I like,
and also
I like
again, it's temporary. It's during an event that pretty much everybody on the server is watching. I'm totally fine with this.
Yep,
So
okay.
just the discussion then, should we do this for members or trustee level?
I think trustee and higher.
I think trustee just to be. I mean, members
I
can still
don't-
ask for it, but I think trustee just to be safe.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the reason we have the trustee rank, and it's exactly for this type of thing.
So Grumpy Goomba, no, it doesn't automatically kick you out of spectator, but as soon as you log off, either manually or by the AF kick or on the restart, you will be put back in creative. Or as soon as you change worlds, you'll be put back in creative. So
and like even if you go into spectator, you can still do the GM1 command to put yourself back into creative.
Yeah.
And also, if anyone who's on the server, if you hold your tab key and you look at the player list, you'll see that Not Short is in gray and italics in the player list. So he's in spectator. So that's a really obvious thing that anybody in staff can see. And if you're in spectator for no apparent reason after an event is done, we can kill the permission, take you out of spectator. So
yeah, we can just GM1 you. Or
Yeah.
if you
just like we GM3 you. So
all right. Should we vote on this?
hang on. So answering Wipeout's question, I believe this would be eligible for any funded event. So any event that's on or
well, not everything is going to have funding. So let's say anything on the event calendar.
anything on the event calendar. Yeah. If it's on the event calendar, we'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, like Assassins 2 would be valid.
Sasha, this doesn't force anybody into GM3. It just makes the command available.
Yep.
So that you don't have to ask staff.
Yep.
Just
All
very
right.
subtle plug there, Wipeout.
Yeah, I
Very subtle
good
indeed.
good plug. Well done. All right. Motion to approve.
Yep.
Yep, I'm happy approving.
Okay. APH.
Wait, sorry, one thing. Just a brief thought. If there is a case where a player is caught basically, abusing it inside an event, like, they go into GM3, they relay information to a friend, and that would we be able to block them from doing that mission in a future?
I mean,
I believe that player level permissions override group level permissions.
that's correct. So if we
yeah.
really had to, we could specifically deny a player from using /GM3.
Okay,
But-
I have no issues then.
But I would say that would also be grounds for further sanctions in and of itself. So, just again, out of annoying people.
We can
Okay.
we can do a multitude of things. Yes, Skelly. But motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Okay.
Sorry for
approving.
delaying
I
there.
think everyone said yes.
Yeah,
I think we said yes. Okay, approved. Cool, done. 5D. This is me.
Yay!
So
Approved.
speaking of events, basically I want to. There was some chatter a little while back of potentially splitting out certain things from the events channel in Discord. Basically, there's the announcements of different stages of an event. There's notifications of specific event-related things, like with the screenshot contest, like reminding people to submit things. There's the announcements of who's going to be live streaming, and then there's the discussions of an event, and then there's the brainstorming of events. And all of those are awesome, and we want to facilitate that. I'm proposing splitting out the announcements and the news, the things that people don't need to have a conversation about directly, but should just be aware of and take action. Splitting those into a separate channel. There have been people been like, oh, why don't we just use the pinned messages? People don't read pinned messages. This is making it easier to access and consolidate all the pings and make it so that if you're subscribed, if you are one of the people who turns channels muted, that kind of keeping all the pings over in a separate channel and then keeping the discussion separate. Again, just in the name of making information really easy to find.
I am definitely in favor. I've actually, when I was organizing the B-movie event, I cursed you, Yoshi. I was getting issues with certain other events that were making it so my stupid piddly questions were ignored. Maybe that was a bit too rude, but yeah, I'd be in favor of this. I can definitely see the reason for it, and I have absolutely two back. Holy shit! I overshot the front.
What? Never mind. Okay.
So I'm trying to bring the donkey back home.
I'm Might Vulpicula.
Don't kill the
donkey. Let's just put my microphone really close to the keyboard so you can hear me smashing. Anyway.
I'm going to turn my brain on just for a sec. What about the suggested alternate channel names, just for consistency?
I like the alternate channel names.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
let's not short.
Yeah, not short is suggesting media also maybe should get split too.
I can see
that. What can we table this until 5G, because this comment, like the 5G thing is another potential solution to media.
Okay.
So
sure.
But for the event itself, okay. So we're gonna. So it sounds like using event announcements and event discussion.
Yeah,
that sounds good to me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, 5D approved. 5E, the memes channel.
Don't we already have random?
We do have.
Yeah,
Soft Chat was talking about this actually in the proposal about random.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards no.
I'm saying no. We have random.
Yeah, it just seems redundant.
I'd say if you've got like a custom made meme, you can put it in creative. If you've got a shit post somebody else made, you put it in random. I would.
Or both in random.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Devil's advocate. In random there were. Do you remember those times when people would just spam things like crazy to the point where?
Yep.
Like when Ruiz would upload an entire take-up menu.
He did that multiple times, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So I can see why when that happens, or when there's just so much noise in that channel, people just want to spread, memes, like just in a different, like in a more calm location. So I can see why someone would propose this.
That is kind of a good point.
Actually, a decent argument. I am surprised.
There is an answer to that. There is an answer to that. If we don't want to create a new channel, it's called slow mode.
Yeah, I don't want to put slow mode on every channel.
Is that a popular thing for people? Like at random people, and the random folks really are pretty protective of random. So
yeah,
they're fucking.
I have the random channel muted.
They're already complaining now. So
I have it muted already.
I've
had random muted for at least.
I don't have random muted.
I've had random muted for probably 3 years now, and I do not intend to change that.
Yeah, no slow mode for this. Maybe make like a memes channel for like, yes, I have handcrafted this meme. It has taken me 3 generations.
Actually,
you mean Frumple's meme?
I'll also propose this. Maybe like memes. Yeah, memes could be very much the high quality meme channel, like the ones where actual thought is actually made. The memes that I can actually enjoy as a 34.
I swear to God, if this devolves into our memes art, I'm just gonna leave.
Also, one other thing. Maybe as part of this, we could take both random and memes channel and put them under their own category, because they're kind of, to be really honest, random's just under general, and its position is kind of, I don't know, a little bit too prominent.
The shadow realm.
Okay, I know that's going to be popular, but I kind of want to put it into its own category. So because that's where all the shit posts are. Yeah, no, people are saying no. I know this is unpopular. Okay. Okay.
But Crumple has convinced me that we should probably do this memes channel. That
is a convincing argument. That is a convincing argument. I have changed my mind.
Oh, that's not what I intended. Shit. Okay, whatever.
Good job, Frumple. The very channel you hate is now being duplicated.
Well, I mean, I just want to throw it out there because it's a valid argument. Like I've heard from other people. So
I'm kind of on the edge of either or, like in the sense of I don't really care. I could see why, but I'm really just kind of I don't really know.
This might be a thing. Like maybe in meeting channel, if you're in favor of this, say aye. If you're not in favor, say no. Because I don't know exactly how people feel about it. I just want to get a better sense of this.
Just to clarify, these aren't trustee rules, right? Where aye is nay and nay is aye.
Yeah,
These are actually like vote like a normal person.
Yes.
Actually,
Trustees are normal people.
Kitty did make an argument that's worth bringing up about the memes. Put them in creative. If they're high quality, put them in
but then
creative.
you're polluting creative.
Like, okay, the
It is
couple
still
of
an
things
artistic
that
creation.
the couple of things that I just put into random, the couple of album covers, shall we say, I would say they're possibly uncreative, but Chief, I apologize.
Yeah.
But
So
sorry, I was just making the event announcements channel.
So
Oh my
the general,
God, AP.
so reading meeting, I think the general gist is people are split on this. So I don't know.
Split. I've seen lots of nays. I've seen maybe 2 ayes from Fred and Metromap. The rest I've seen no.
Yeah, I'm seeing
I
a
see.
lot of
Okay.
a lot of Nick.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the proposal did say, or I think as we were talking about, of like, you know, we've got random, we've got creative for creative endeavors. Like, you are allowed to post your own things there. So.
yeah,
Even if that includes the MRT high school anime.
To be really, but to be really honest, I think if more memes start popping up in creative, then all the other people in creative are going to start complaining about it being
which is fair,
right? So I don't know. I guess.
I mean, we could try it out and see how it goes.
Just not doing anything, or
create hashtag memes.
I do like Not Short's argument of there hasn't been an issue. So
yeah, it sounds like
there's nothing.
It sounds like it's solving a problem that doesn't exist.
There's nothing wrong with status quo right now. I think we can keep with status quo.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we're not going to do anything about it. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Cool. So it's a no. 5F History Channel.
Yep. Just to clear up some confusion that there was in the initial email, this is not the MRT's own history a la nostalgia. This is real world history, i.e., Second World War and
for
everything else.
For history buffs. Yeah.
Yeah. How popular is this?
I don't think it is that popular, to be really honest. This is from Silver Bubble, who just recently returned, so I don't know if he has a sense of. I'm not sure if he's out talking to people if people are interested in this channel. Like, to be honest, I'm not sure.
He said he had discussions with people about it.
I'm inclined
to say, go ahead, Vicky.
I'm seeing like a lot of people like, I mean, okay, but we don't really care, at least right now.
I would say that history stuff does go in the science channel. That's how I'm putting it.
Kitty has a counter proposal of having an IRL general channel for stuff in the IRL categories that doesn't neatly fit in.
I
maybe
like that as a solution.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people
kind of
are
like IRL general more than history.
Yeah. History by itself, I do agree, is too niche. I don't think there's enough demand for it. So that channel by itself, I would say no.
Yeah.
But I do like that idea.
It would also keep stuff from the regular general channel too. Yeah. So
Otto, here's the thing. This is for the catch-all of everything else, because there are things that don't necessarily fit within that channel. General is more or less supposed to be for general server-related stuff.
Just community discussion.
Whereas this does cater to a valid need. So
I can see it both ways. Sorry, go ahead, Volt.
I'd be in favor of just put it in the IRL thing, just have it as a catch-all for stuff that fits and stuff, personal things about that aren't super serious, or just things like, as Metromap says, wanting to talk about guns.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily fit into any of the categories. So yeah, that.
I'd definitely be in favor of it. I think it'd be quite a good little addition.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Okay, so motion to do an IRL general channel instead of a history channel, but to add that in.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor of adding in a specific history channel as well, but I'm definitely in favor of IRL general.
I think if there's demand, I think if there's demand for it, then we can revisit this. But the demand right now only suggests that having an IRL channel. The demand right now that I can see doesn't warrant a history channel. If it changes, then we'll. If it changes, I'm happy to revisit.
Yeah, I'm no to history, yes to IRL general.
Same.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
IRL general.
IRL general approved. Okay.
All right.
5G. Oh, this is me again, and this is the one that actually started arguments. So, okay, so 5G. This one does, I believe, address a problem that does exist. So, media. The intention of the media channel is for people to post news and announcements and stuff like that. It is, and I understand that people will want to react to stuff in that channel. Right now, the way that we've been handling it is that if you see something, that usually a staff member will respond and remind you that you're in the media channel and shouldn't be having a conversation. I think we need slow mode because it's gotten to the point where there have been full conversations happening in that channel on almost a daily basis, and this current system is not working. And also, like to clarify a misconception about slow mode is that it applies to the second message in a specific time period. So, if say I were to put an announcement out that that someone wants to make a single message response to, slow mode isn't going to stop that. And it's not a perfect situation. What it will put a barrier in front of, though, is a full back and forth, multiple people responding to each other kind of thing. That shouldn't be happening in that channel.
I don't
Sasha,
think in media though, like in the sake of posting their media stuff. That doesn't limit them though.
Well, so that's why I said, okay, maybe 15 minutes is probably too harsh. So I'm fine if we lower it down. But I do think that we need it, at like a minute or something to slow it down.
I'm a lot less certain.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
I mean, Kitty has posted a very good defense of that. Yes, it stops. You cannot, unless you have terrible quality screenshots, you cannot upload multiple images into one message because you hit the file size limit.
Well, so hang on. So that's actually a thing of Discord, where Discord actually doesn't. It considers each image as an individual message. So Slack has a thing where you can attach multiple messages to an image.
Discord doesn't know.
Correct. So I'm like, you do always have the option to upload your stuff to something like Imager.
That's not as easy for people just to
I
scroll
agree.
through. Though.
I agree that that's not as easy. So
it feels like this.
It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off.
I don't really feel like this solves the solution, to be honest, because like people can still reply to the message. They can just only reply once.
I'm in agreement with Gods. I am not for this.
How much of an effect would this be in the sake of combining with that the splitting the media? Because I know we mentioned. I feel like they almost go hand in hand in a way of discussion.
Yeah, maybe I can't find the thing right now, but having people self-assign a role for media to talk in it.
No.
I mean, they can just mute it if they don't want to say it.
Not as in self-assign a role to speak in media. I know it's not perfect, but it adds that.
Why would they self-assign when they? Yeah, when they can just not. Why would they choose not to when they can just not type?
That's my opinion. We should not do anything. If it doesn't become a problem often enough to warrant a real crazy solution for.
No, to be fair, I see Chiefs. I see the reasoning behind Chiefs.
It is a problem. It is
a problem. It happens all the time.
If anyone who's clearing their unreads, I don't have media muted because it is really valuable to have player announcements and to see what's going on. So I don't have the channel muted. When I clear my unreads and I'm going through, if I have to scroll through a conversation, that's really annoying. And I've been seeing that on a daily basis for the past 3 weeks. And I've had to step in and remind people, guys, you're in media. Get out of this channel.
No.
So
Sasha has brought up
in that respect. I would rather we go with the event option and like we split it into a media.
Fred, we do.
Yeah, I'd be in favor of that. Yeah.
Discussion. Here's the thing. So Fred says just tell people not to talk there so much. We're doing that. It's not working. It's not working. That's why this proposal is here.
So go ahead, Senator.
If we do anything, we should just make a media discussion channel and call it there. I think trying to impose restrictions on media makes it not really great to use.
I'm gonna throw. Sorry, are you done?
I was just gonna say, like, to put on something like slow mode and make a separate channel would kind of be the worst of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we just make a media discussion channel, that would solve the problem, and then we can move on.
I agree with Sarah. I think
I'm with Senra.
There's a drawback to splitting the channels, though, because how media worked is the idea was someone would post an announcement, and there would be at least some discussion that happens afterward. And I think at least some or at least reactions to it. That's fine. If you split the channels, then it becomes a little harder to what people are referring to, because now they're in.
So I look at it from the other perspective, which is that if we get those reactions, it makes it harder for people in other time zones to scroll back through and find the actual announcement amongst all of the reactions.
But then you don't.
That's why I think slow mode's a good compromise, because it at least prevents you from putting a second message in the channel.
I disagree with that, because it's still allowing people to make, like, we don't really want any reactions in that channel with the notifications.
John-G, it is a problem.
If we do split it, then it's going to mean that for anyone that doesn't want to read through all the discussion, they can just have a feed of all of the actual announcements without having to dig between all of the comments.
Yeah, no, slow mode. I think slow mode is taking a sledgehammer to a nail. I think it is the wrong solution. I don't think there is a good solution because of the inherent way that a chat system is set up like this.
And unfortunately, unless we lobby Discord to include Fred's support,
I know threads can't come soon enough.
Yeah, threads would be the solution to this. They don't exist, and slow mode would honestly, I think, would make it a far less useful system, because you wouldn't have people wouldn't want to use it because it's annoying to use.
Sure, I mean, is it worth just having a community vote on splitting versus keeping as normal?
Survey question. We could run that.
I mean, just do it now, just to get a general.
Or we can do it now. But I mean, survey question would be a little more accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can get
go to a survey.
Time. That way, people have time to look over it, gather it.
Yeah, more I think feedback. A survey question is definitely best.
Actually, now I think about all these questions should have been probably survey questions, to be really honest. I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we can go back and should we just go back and do all the channels as a survey?
Yeah,
we've already.
We made a decision.
We can go back on that,
but we can at least ask the question, just confirm if this is, a thing, right? So
if this is something that people actually want,
yeah. Like, except the event splitting, because I think people are fairly agree. Like, I think most people agree that's a good thing.
The events,
yeah,
the event splitting was definitely needed.
But things like the memes history and this thing,
memes history and the media and changes to media. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, I'll set that up soon.
Okay, that sounds good. I would say in the interim, no conversations in media, please. Like,
I mean,
again, responses, that's one thing, but like full conversations it's drowning out the announcements that the channel is meant for. So
Clarifying for a minute's sake, we're doing survey questions for memes, history, and slow mode. Correct.
5E, F, and G will be confirmed by survey questions.
Got it. And how long will we keep those survey questions open for?
We don't really
to
have
be
timelines on them,
determined.
but it's just like we post it until the responses die.
Generally
So.
it fills about in about a few days, a week at most. So by that point, we'll have a decision, and we can come back to it at the next.
I mean, shall we just come back at the ISM in a couple of weeks?
The ISM's not for this sort of thing, though. It's GSM, because this is technically a community issue. It's not a transport project.
Fair enough.
I'd put it up for general just to confirm it, but okay. All right, let's.
We're doing survey questions on the history one, since that's what IRL General came out of. That will be a survey question if I'm not.
Yeah, so that'll hold until we get survey question confirmation. So.
Yep. All right.
All right, moving on to 6A.
I am.
Opposition.
I am very much against this.
I think Billy and Penny means well, honestly, but I don't think this is at all practicable.
I think suggesting signage is a fine thing, but
However, I don't think we should be moving to enforcing.
yeah, I think it would put an enormous onus on the staff to ensure that all the roads are using the correct signage. And
Yeah,
we already have a limited number of staff.
And
the buy-in and the level of effort is what concerns me. The concept I generally like, mostly just in terms of making it consistent. But
I mean,
the implementation is where I'm concerned.
As well, one thing that I'm concerned about, and this is more a limit with Minecraft, but that it's very difficult to read text on signs.
Especially when you're going
obviously
on a horse.
Obviously, I quite like. It depends. Different people have different solutions. I quite like Time 2's solutions of having the block letters, even though they're not exactly practical for massive signs. They do make it very easy to read at speed.
Yeah, heads are the easiest, like, kind of bang for your buck, like heads and banners. Because
I was trying to push Time to talk to Billy and Penny to get some ideas. Because I remember Time had a proposal a while ago about updating signage around Central City, and I know there's some gripes in the proposal about that. I mean, I definitely agree. This kind of harkens back to almost MRT road standards. I don't think we should be enforcing standards, but I think signage is definitely appreciated. But I don't think we need to warn somebody if we're not having signage on their road.
I think we should provide a suggestion, but it's strictly that, nothing else.
We should provide a template and encourage it. But if someone were to do something different, then it's not against the rules to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Court did his own designs of signs. Vicky's did her own design of A road signs. Definitely, creativity is very nice.
It does add a bit of flair to someone's style of road.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if you want to use those styles, I think we should encourage that. But I don't think that we should set up a formal standard.
I mean, the MRT road standards have always been, voluntary anyway.
I would say that the best option is please update your wiki pages so that we have the list of exits and stuff there. But and on the wiki, we certainly can enforce it because it's software. But in terms of in-game, this honestly, again, I love the concept, but it's too much work right now.
Yeah,
and
definitely whenever, even on tar, when you're doing on the roads itself, having signage is nice. I know Circles asked earlier about updating signage that's already built.
I think
that would,
if you have the initiative to go through and update the signage for a road, and you can just send us a message about that. I think that's something we could probably do outside of GSMs.
Yeah, we can do that outside.
Hey, I want to go through an update. Let's say I don't know, the A8 signage so that it's more readable and more consistent. And you provide a proposal on what signage you're going to use. Sure, Like
Bill and
that's
Penny
fine.
wants to talk.
Yeah, this is his topic, so that's fine. Yeah, I would be okay entertaining those outside of GSMs. And I would just say the main thing is for for either kind of road, to either get clearance from the staff from staff through email, or get clearance from the road owner privately, and you can just do that separately.
If it's a B road.
Yeah, if it's a B road, then yeah.
If it's
Okay.
a B road, you have
for
to
A roads. A roads get it from us. Yep. Okay.
Billy and Penny,
Billion-
take your server mute off. You should be good.
Yeah.
You're still looks like local muted. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks. So I guess you sort of just answered the question that I was about to ask, but I may as well. I mean, just to clear it up. About like there are roads that don't have signage already, and I guess like you said, would you be more than happy to sort of allow this system on people who don't really care about the signs, as long as you get permission? Like, is that?
So I think that's what we were just saying of, if you want to add or update signs on a road, just give us a proposal of like what your template looks like. Send it to us in email. We'll handle that outside of a GSM, and then then that'll serve as your permission to do it.
It's just not practical to enforce it on. It's not practical to enforce it or require it for every road past and future.
We can't. We're only so many people, and there are only so many hours in the day, and this is not a full-time job.
Yeah, I did when I was thinking about this. I did sort of forget a little about how it was enforced, and I think I sort of took the view that most people who were building A roads, and maybe this isn't wrong. Maybe this is wrong, and that I misjudged. The sort of people who were doing A roads and B roads maybe as well were actually sort of, I guess I'd say road geeks, but I guess that's not always the case, and people might not want to put in the extra effort for signs sometimes.
I mean, signage is always good. And as the one that's marked a lot of roads on Dynmap, some roads have no signage at all. Having any form of signage is better than none. Now, we're not going to enforce that, but it just makes life easier in the sense of like game shows, in the sense like TAR, or even trying to get around the server in general.
Yeah,
and I would say there certainly are some road geeks, and there are some people who want to try and make a standard that they are comfortable with and that they know how it works. I think that again that plays into, everyone has their own unique build style and the kind of your own little like signature, so to speak, on how you build stuff. So
Billy, and if you TPA to me, or I can, are you in game?
I will be in just a second.
Okay, because there are some players who have really not particularly realistic signs, but just signs which are readable from a distance. For example, this is in Zodiac.
Yep. Also, we're not going to make it part of like a rank up. That's definitely unfair, and also not really part of those ranks per se, because those ranks are for a town, not really for roads.
Yeah, it's again. I'm of the opinion various people have styles, various ways they're comfortable with.
I mean, we're not making an official standard. We're making more, I guess you could say community standard, where like we'll say like kind of what would be nice to have, and it's up. Like, everybody else can have their own flair.
You might want to put this on a wiki page or as a voluntary guidance.
I was going to say we linked to Vicky's stuff that she did
so
for
London
stuff, kind of as an example.
So London, it sounds like we're not taking any action on this, other than just saying in general, signs good. Please make signs, because signs good. Yes. How you do that is up to you. If you see a road that you would like to update these signs on, then you can email us, or if it's a B road, you can email whoever built or contact whoever built that road and figure something out and go from there. But I think it sounds like for right now that we're saying that we're not going to take any action on this.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, the other thing is, if I might just add one more thing. Like I'm really interested in this sort of stuff, so I'm perfectly happy to, if the people want signage on their unsigned roads or want updated signage, then I'm also more than happy to be contacted about that directly if you want signage on your roads done in a particular way. I'm happy to do that if people need that or want that.
Cool. That's fine for everything except A roads. A roads must be approved by staff because A roads are owned by the server, not by an individual.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, we're happy to approve. We're happy to give those a look and entertain those proposals outside of GSMs. So okay, so it sounds like we're going with no action taken, but we will be approving these requests outside of meetings.
Yep, I think that's what's happening.
Yep.
Any objections going once? Going twice? Sold to that guy over there. Me.
Whoa! What do I get?
Nothing.
Aww.
You know what you do? You know what you do get? We're moving on to 7A.
Whoa.
Okay, Frog.
7B.
7A. There's no 7B.
Oh, okay.
Frog wants to do a spleef tournament.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Any objections?
Amount looks fine.
This is a very small amount. I'm fine with this.
Yep, that's fine. We could do the events anyways.
Any objections going once? Going twice. Sold to Frog. No items in section 8-9 Expo East opening.
It's open.
It's open. Go ride trains.
Okay. Go ride trains. Okay.
Go have fun with your trains. 10. Crumple your brain. We need your brain again.
Sorry, where? What?
We need your brain again. We're on 10A.
GSM scheduling.
Oh, hi. Yes, we haven't set the dates officially for the next 2 months of GSMs and ISMs, and also we might as well do 6 months ahead in 2021.
Yeah.
Hopefully that year will be a lot better than this year.
We can only hope.
There's been suggestions that maybe we can get rid of or cancel the December 2020 ISM on December 27th because it's in the middle of the holidays. I don't think staff or members are interested in having a meeting during that time.
No.
Yeah, I think go enjoy the holidays and relax.
Yeah, let's cancel that one. November ISM, I will be available to do that. So, but if people want to cancel that one, I'm okay canceling.
Fred is saying why would we cancel November 2020?
Because that is the weekend right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know American.
Americans will be confused.
Because my family is doing what we call nothing because of no travel.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that no one's traveling means that that's probably okay to hold it. So, again, I will be there, so I'll be able to referee if we need.
It's only an ISM anyway, so it doesn't matter if we don't have full turnout.
So Fred's the only person that says he wants the meeting there. Fred, just also so you know, you should just say meeting channel because we're gonna miss that because we're looking at meeting live in Discord. So just so you know.
Also, is that an ironic post or is that genuine?
That's true. Yeah, no,
Fred,
are you serious?
No, Fred's being silly.
I mean, I'm traveling that day, but I will leave my comments before it.
Fred.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ISM. It's just
exactly.
Most of it's just line item votes.
Yeah, but
let's cancel that one. I mean,
the December 27th one can go. Enjoy the holidays and try to.
Everything else can stay.
Everything else looks okay. Yeah, we'll just need to jiggle a few people around. I'll need a backup referee for January 9th General, assuming that trip doesn't get canceled. That trip looks like it's going to go. So
I can take over that one. Also, my trip to the UK is supposed to be June. Who knows if I will?
Oh, we're still going to have COVID in June, so no.
If that goes, then I'll referee. But I would say at this point that's unlikely. The trip that I have in January looks like it is going to go. So
Fred, why would I visit America? That's no.
Yeah, America sucks. Don't come here.
It might be better after January 21st.
I can buy hot dogs and freedom here.
Not get political, but I hope so.
I mean, okay, I almost visited. I mean, I was in Crumple's neck of the woods a year ago, but that's a whole separate. I think I still have. Where's my compass card? It's back in the drawer over there.
Right. Anyway,
not important.
Last
not
time,
important.
10B.
10B Lake rename. Okay, now that this has been sent in, this makes sense. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think it cleared up a lot of the questions that we had last year. Last year's it was just not enough information.
Last ISM it seemed random. This provides context. This provides confirmation of approval. I'm fine with this.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
11.
I actually want to make a statement. Sorry, just from events earlier.
Okay.
So, I know we've decided. I decided, like, not to issue an apology to Castle. I understand where people are coming from, but I want people to understand where I'm coming from. And frankly, as I said, I just don't feel comfortable giving him an apology, because on a personal level, like, Castle did, like, he did all these transactions back in 2018. I demoted him, but kept him on, and I expected him to be, not behave in that sort of way ever again, but he broke that trust again. So on a personal level, I at the moment I am not comfortable with issuing an apology, even if yeah, we did something wrong. I'll totally admit that. But the stuff that he's done is so, it violates so much trust that I had in him that I just can't do it. So I know people disagree. I know some people may not even hear this message. And you're certainly free to disagree on that. But yeah, but I'm just trying to explain that this is where I'm coming from on that. And frankly, I just want to move on. I hope I never see Castle again on this server, honestly. But yeah, so that's that. Sorry.
Okay.
Last thing.
Volpe, you have a statement?
Just a reminder. I think we might have missed this last GSM, but we have the server on server voting list. If there's going to be a lot of chaos for a few months, and some members may leave, but if you want to try and help us offset that, it would be good to vote on them just to get some fresh blood in there.
Cool.
Yeah, just go do that.
Yep.
It's in order.
And Sasha's been asking, why is /media not linked to #media?
I can answer that. The thing is, if you post big links or upload images to Discord media, it shows up really badly in game. So I think that's really much the only reason. That's why they're split. Media, it does mean people have to post in two different places, but for the most part, I think people are okay with that. You post it in game and you post it in Discord. So, and also way the types of announcements that are shared are slightly different. Because in Discord it's more of a mass thing, whereas in Minecraft it's more of a, hey, here's a thing that's happening right now, or just an advertisement to the people in game. Yeah, so, and not sure has a good point. Not sure has a good point. Messages may be also cut off too. So yeah. They do tend to get cut off because people do tend to write long messages and full press statements and stuff, which is very appropriate for Discord, but not so for in-game. I have a copy of the goddamn trusty meeting notes. I don't need this courier donkey, but
he loves you.
We appreciate the commitment.
He's dead.
Aww. We're all this way all the way from freaking Pearl Coast.
Too bad. Okay. Let me read this dumpster fire of a trustee meeting notes, and then we'll get into the Q&A, and then I will be leaving. Okay, the trustee meeting notes are as follows. The Drunken Cow is nominated for trustee. By
the way, while we're doing this, if you have any general Q&A questions, put them in meeting.
Yeah, now will be the time to start writing them. And if you're putting them in meeting channel, please ping me so that I can find your message later.
Yeah. If you're not asking questions, please stop talking in meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but as I read these out, now is the time to post your questions in the meeting channel or meeting live. The Drunken Cow is nominated for trustee. The Fly on Mike Pence's Head during the VP debate is nominated for trustee. Have the admins give the SSH keys to the server to _pi. Replace the server rules with the rules of acquisition in order to create a stable server financial system to maximize profits. Fred owns the floor. Air sitting is the official action of the trustees. The Pacific owner is now the owner of the MRT. Premiere Pro Export is recognized as a bitch.
Hey, B ***H.
Yeah. I'm reading the whatever.
The uncensored version.
The uncensored version. Extend the Marina shuttle to Fullerton. I approve. Lock up Crimson Fox in St. Helena for 200 years. Redcoat Syrup is recognized as the official MRT national anthem. Build a 30-lane highway in sand, uncapitalized. So I think they just mean in an arbitrary patch of sand, not in the town of sand. Extend the Circle Line to Zeta. Extend the Marina shuttle to the seaplanes at the AT Marina. This is actually a legit proposal. But anyway, send PTLD9 to courier the trustee nominations to Frumple's house. Rename Painted Blue to Painted Green. Use nukes beneath New Singapore and deploy them on the MRT. Throw Red Ray into prison because of crimes as described by Sasha 9076. Build a portal to Brazil at Central Park. Eject Sasha 9076 because kinda sus. Lingering Potion of Instant Damage 2 is legalized. Send Red Ray to Brazil. Brand Airplane Guy 9 a heretic for saying the trustee meeting is dying. Smite Airplane Guy 9 for saying the trustee meeting is dying. Airplane Guy 9 is nominated as most sus trustee. Create a community town, but only arcades are allowed. Have a trustee meeting among us after the GSM. Animal cruelty is legalized in Benyon. The word gamer is now spelled Gammer. Newton's
How do you
laws
pronounce
of-
that?
Gammer.
Thank you.
Newton's laws of motion are declared as overrated. Artificially lengthen the trustee meeting with shittier motions like this. Make premier trustee. Motion to make this motion for the sake of having another motion to discuss. The meeting is adjourned.
Oh, that was a wonderful mess.
Very good. Thank you again.
I love how consistently the trustee people just get increasingly less coherent as time goes on.
This happens every month. I'll tell you what. Field trip. I'm going to Bawabik, and I'm going to deposit this trustee meeting notes in the library in Bawabik, where all of the other trustee meeting notes are.
Can you not just put it in a fire?
Are they really?
Well, no. I put one copy in a fire and a second copy in the library in Bawabik. So.
All right. So, any questions?
Are there any questions about the trustee meeting?
What the hell?
Who's setting my library on fire?
Or again,
Please
any
don't
questions
actually-
about all the events that happened? If you didn't get a chance to ask them, because I know it was pretty chaotic in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Please stop griefing my library.
No questions about the trustee meeting right now?
Yeah. Please stop griefing my town, gods.
Yep. Griefing.
Griefing bad.
Let's do serious questions first, please. So.
Okay. So the serious question. So I have 2 pings in the channel. So.
I answered one of them.
Sasha, I am not addressing that because that's not a question. And CC will answer the other one.
Oh, I already got London's earlier, but in regards to all the bans, like no one's assets is changing. If they want to leave the server or they want to change their assets, they can email the staff. That's up to them.
For the people who were banned, the only thing that can happen more quickly. So, so the wills are not null. It's only just that, like, generally we haven't considered a wiki null to be valid, like, because those can be edited by anybody. So if the players who have been banned want their assets to be, like, officially transferred, they can send us a copy of their will, and we will do that. Or they can just tell us, I would like my assets transferred according to the will. That will validate it, and we will go ahead and process that according to that. But we're not going to make any direct transfers ourselves. The only thing that can happen right away is if there are any towns, the deputy mayors can immediately claim mayor status of those towns. So, So if you were if you were a deputy mayor of a town owned by Woolwich, by Frosty, or by Camel, you can contact staff and take over ownership of the town. You can do that immediately. Everything else is on hold, and just out of respect for those players, I would ask that you not submit IAT requests, until the standard 3 months is up.
Yep.
Fred, in regards to towns that like you already have a project with, I mean that's assuming like they gave you approval already. I don't really see anything changing there because you had the approval before to work in the town.
Yep, any approvals that you had before is perfectly valid. And so if you had approval from a previous project, you can continue that project to completion. So that is fine.
To answer John G's question, what should MPOs and should MPOs at other Discords do in regards to banned players? You should ban them. Yes.
Yeah,
please do.
It's technically up to you, but just for security, it's good practice to monitor our ban list and to issue a ban as well. So
yeah.
Can you unban somebody in Discord? Yes.
Yep.
There's a whole bans tab in your Discord server settings. Does the event have to be on the calendar for the spectator friend to be triggered or not? For consistency's sake, we're going to ask for that. So, so please do that. I will say that we generally are pretty good about making sure that events are on the calendar. Like Yoshi has been pretty consistent in putting events up on the calendar for people to see. So, so yep, I would say if it's on the events calendar, then you're good, and if it's not, then please ask us to add it, and we're happy to add your event. Did you just donate the B movie and put it in our library?
I did nothing. It's just there. It's just near the trustee notes. I didn't do anything yet. Dick Snorton.
Okay.
This is false accusation.
Are there any other questions?
Serious questions. We're not at silly questions yet.
We don't really do silly questions because we have the trustee meeting.
True. Going once.
Going once for serious questions.
Going twice.
My brain is dead. My brain is dead. I'm not going to do silly questions tonight. I'm sorry.
I'll handle silly questions.
Okay.
Because fuck it. We're gonna get silly tonight.
We need to extend this GSM for 4 hours.
Okay.
No. Do people want to do Among Us later? That's a question.
I would be up for that. Question. I would up. Actually, no. Staff. We need to do a staff Among Us at some point.
Yeah. I don't have Windows.
Well, figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point.
Sounds like a you problem.
Tell you what, I'll buy it on my phone because I can do that.
No, it's free on the phone.
Oh well, I'll put it on my phone.
Yay!
Oh, I didn't know there was a mobile version of Among Us.
And it's free.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Last call for serious questions.
Yep.
Where's Andy and Ondus and DinTB with a link to Among Us server?
Just to preface the end of the series questions, like again, if you want to bring up any concerns or questions to us directly, don't hesitate to do that. We're open for the rest of this week. I'm hoping this week things will just die down. Things will come back to normal. There's not going to be any more crazy announcements or anything else. So
this should be the end of the crazy ones.
Yeah, but if you have any, but if you have any lingering concerns or anything that you'd like to just express, like again, we are open to listening. So
I mean, if you have any concerns, any at all, that even if you don't think they're serious, but you think they might be, talk to us because we won't issue any reprimands or anything like that for a concern which you saw was serious, which turns out to be mundane, because it's rather that than the other way around.
Yeah, and also again, I know that saying something and having it be accepted by the community are two different things, but like I just want to reiterate that like everyone on staff wants to. We would much rather talk things through, and like there's no punishment for talking to us. Like I just want to make that clear that now if there's something that that an investigation happens and we find out that you did something before that you have to answer for, that's a different thing. But by talking to us, like you're not going to get any kind of issues about that. So Okay.
It's a bit
with all
late for
that-
that session.
With all that being said, the meeting is now closed. Frumple and maybe I will entertain silly questions for a while. But in terms of those of you who are streaming, you guys are probably safe to end your streams. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for bearing with us for the last 4 hours. This definitely has been one of the longer ones and one of the more heavy ones to talk through.
It's an important one.
It's one that's been needed, and I hope that this will start to bring a little bit more clarity and hopefully bring us back on the path to normalcy for the community as a whole. So
we do hope that in the what we are hoping, what we have spent the last month hoping, is that this week will have improved this community for the better in the long run. I know the short term is going to be very chaotic, it's going to be very tumultuous, but things will turn out better. The community has no doubt irreversibly changed from in the past week,
and even in the past 4 hours. So
yeah,
and I know some people don't like change. Actually, a lot of people don't like change. Let's face it. And if people feel like this is not the server for them, then some people may leave. And please respect those decisions if they do decide to do that, or at least take a break, even. So yeah.
We certainly hope that you guys will stay. I mean, it's a really fun community. I know I've had a good time here, and I certainly plan on sticking around. So and at the same time, I know that for some of you, especially in light of recent news, that it may no longer feel that way, and that is your decision and your decision alone to make.
And
so,
if there's anything we can do to try and set aside some of that, if talking to us would help, please come to us.
Yeah.
And if you do want to take a break, you'll always be welcome back by the community. Yep. When you do return, and we do hope you will.
As I said on the website post, the community will be here to welcome you back with open arms if you choose to return. So, and if you're taking a longer break, we're happy to put an asset transfer hold in place. That process is still available. All right. That's it for the meeting. We will go on to silly questions now. But in terms of people running around, I think people are running around in Bawabik right now. So if you want to come run around in Bawabik, you can TP to me. I know there was
crackhead apartment time.
Crackhead apartment time.
I'm still in my house. So
Yeah, Frumple needs an apartment in Crackhead apartments.
No, thank you. Okay, I am here to answer silly questions. Fred asked, "Hey, Frumple, you know who else answers silly questions?" Who does? Your mom. Wow. Fred.
This is probably the most Fred thing ever.
Question: can I pick him?
No,
it's not going to do anything. Fred is just.
It would make me feel better.
Now you can always, yeah, okay. No, here we go.
Now we're getting into the bad jokes.
Hey, Frumple.
Okay,
sorry.
Otto's question is more philosophical.
Okay. Well, okay. Let's just answer it. Why did the bicycle fall over? It was too tired. Yeah, I feel fucking tired right now, too. So I want to be a bicycle. Autobus says, if I eat myself, will I get twice as big or disappear completely? You might have to ask, what's his name? That cannibal?
Moj?
No.
What's that guy?
Moj. Hannibal Lecter might give you probably some advice on that. So, I don't know. How does Frumply Frump and Frumping? I don't know. Does the MRT endorse the writings of Mr. Douglas Adams? I mean, sure, why not? Why is there a serious question here? Can I have an airship above spawn station?
No.
That's old world. No, old world you can't add stuff. Okay, let's maybe less knock jokes and more philosophical, or I don't know, questions.
Two fire stickers. What? Volpe, that's not a question. Okay.
Do fire stickers on trains
make them go faster?
I don't know what fire stickers are.
Actually, just the big old fire decals. They make them go faster.
What is the meaning of life? Don't know. I'm trying to figure that out for the last few years. Side matter, what's the record for longest GSM? 5 hours, I believe, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, 12 hour silly questions. Were you there?
You know what else? Okay, whatever, Fred.
You guys
Okay.
are bad at silly questions.
Yeah,
okay,
this is
Otto has a
not-
good one.
Oh, Needon. If you could eminent domain any town for your own, which one would you claim? Why would I?
You have to pick one.
Well, I don't know towns that much. Eminent domain.
You should play Get to X and then you'll learn towns.
Nah, fuck that. I don't need to know what's on my server. As
I said earlier, we need Frumple and Tar.
Fuck that.
Like actually playing Tar.
Yeah, Frumple, you should play Tar.
No, I don't want to play.
Yeah,
no,
play.
I'm tired. Especially after all this. Frumple, quick, what's your favorite? Green is my favorite color. Frumple,
The question.
Yeah.
Frumple dodging questions.
What question? What did I miss?
The question of eminent domain. Which town would you pick?
I don't know. No, I don't think I'll answer that. It might be inappropriate, actually. When I think about it.
And as a question that he thinks is being ignored, I don't know. What that
I'm
question
not going to answer that question. Sorry. London says, when will the Marina shuttle be extended to Shillerton? I don't.
Frumple, you gotta answer. Gotta answer.
When? Well, no, that's a leading question. No, just no. Just no. I'm still streaming, by the way, so this is all going to go on the recording.
No, not Mark 2, Volpe. No.
Yes, Mark 2.
No.
Western Line Autumnal Sea Branch.
Probably you could
Western
rename the
Line
server
Jimbo
anything
Shuttle.
for April Fools. What would you rename MRT to Marina Shuttle Transport? No, we already kind of did that for airport. I think we need to come up with something different.
Are there any provisions for an MRT replacement bus service? Fun fact, that was actually a thing for a while the Northern Line were being built. There was a shuttle from outside, what's Heaven Angel's town called?
Kiris?
Yeah, Chris.
Quirris, yeah, there was a shuttle from outside Quirris North Station to Quirris East Station to transfer between the between the Zephyr and Northern lines. That was made redundant when the Northern Line was finished.
To answer Sasha's question, we did rename the server Airport Rapid Transit this year for April Fool's Day. That prank has been done, and I have ideas for next year's April Fool's. So
let's see. Volp is asking, is Volpe best staff? Well, we're going to do our audit, and you'll find out, huh?
Hey, I don't want to know that.
Sir Nature Writer is, if I tell you to trust nobody, will I be able to be trusted? I don't know how to answer that. Fred asks, why do you keep avoiding questions from? Let me guess what the answer to that is, Fred. My mom, right? Yes. Ha 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 ha. Never mind. Frumple, who's your favorite staff member? No, I'm not answering that one, London. Jesus.
Is it your favorite staff member or yourself?
I don't even love myself,
yourself.
and I'm serious about that.
Oh.
Yeah. Frumple losing K3 or whatever the hell we are. I already did years ago, so don't worry about that. Not short.
Slidebatter actually asked a serious question of what's an audit.
So if you missed the earlier part of the meeting, like to be fair to all the existing staff members, we want to be able to allow people to give like positive and negative feedback about them, considering that they've been staff for a while. There's no real way for that to happen. So we just we'll probably set aside the next 3 weeks, not this week, but next 3 weeks. A subset of mods and admins will be up for feedback. We'll make Discord channels for them. You can also email staff, I guess, and we'll go from there. So I'll figure out the who's who. I'm also putting myself on there because, I'm sure a lot of people have choice words about me, about how I run the server, and I'm a fucktard and an asshole and all that. I saw a lot of that, so.
Fred, why are you like this?
What would you do for a Klondike bar? I don't eat Klondike bars, Fred. I'm not going to be specific, Niden, but I mean, I've seen complaints about myself. Asshole, definitely. So, I don't know, and honestly, I'm not gonna. I mean, that's their opinion. I'm not gonna argue against it, honestly. Sasha says, Frumple, pick one A glow squid. Oh, fuck you. No. D, performance updates. Fix the fucking performance. I'm sorry for swearing, but I'm just pissed off about everything right now. May I kill you with an assassin sword for science? Yeah, sure, why not? I have to get out of this meeting hall, though. Why do we make this? This is weird. Yeah.
I thought you were about to. I thought Wipeout. No, Wipeout. Oh, that was you. I thought you were going to ask if you could send him to Menards.
No, Volpe got it already.
Volpe sent him to Menards?
You're given $25 and forced to go to Menards. What do you buy?
Oh.
What do I buy? What can you get with 25? Wait, what is it? 25? I'm assuming 25 US, right? Because it's.
Yeah, there's the US symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. US and Canada both call them dollars and both use the same symbol. So. But Menards is an American chain, so yeah. But Frumple, don't forget that at Menards you save big money, so you can actually get quite a lot at Menards for $25.
You haven't really described what they have, though. I don't know what to buy.
Aren't they like a hardware store or something?
Yeah, it's like a home improvement store kind of thing.
I'll buy fluorescent lights. How about that? Because I need replacements.
Yes.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
Buy LEDs, Frumple.
Yeah, but
LEDs are much more efficient.
I know, but I don't know if are LEDs within $25. I'm not sure. They're kind of expensive.
They've gotten cheaper.
Really? Okay.
You can get a couple bulbs for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna go full on Weird Al Yankovic and just name a whole list.
I wish
I was kind of hoping that.
I love that song, but I don't remember all of the lyrics. That's a bit.
I remember them bringing gerbil feeders, auto circumcisers, and magic salt and pepper shakers. That's all I remember from that song.
Yeah.
Matching salt and pepper shakers.
Why are you screaming my name?
I thought it was magic.
Caves or cliffs, Sasha says. Performance. Yeah. Carrots or potatoes? Well, both. They're good for you. Oh, you want me to go? Okay, hold on. Oh, I died. Thank goodness. Had enough of this shit. Why are you still here?
3 minutes that matter,
Can we just end this meeting?
Watch it.
I move on.
You're the one who decided to take silly questions. So
Well, I mean,
This is all your fault.
okay,
That's all.
okay, fine. It is my fault. Okay, well, maybe next, maybe 5 minutes or so, or less. We'll see. What from?
I still haven't eaten breakfast, so I'm excited to leave.
5 minutes.
Go eat. Wipeout says, "What from? Will you participate in Assassins 2? Probably not." Actually, serious thing. Like, with all this stuff that's happening, I'm not sure. Like, so I've mentioned this. Survival Server was supposed to be a project to get to be at least start working on November. So I'm not sure if I'm up for that. Also, I forgot. I'm probably going to release the video contest pre-submission form probably later today. Yeah, I forgot. I should have put that in events in this GSM, but yeah.
Well, we've already approved it as a thing. So this is just the execution of it.
Yeah, I know, but it's more just reminding people that yes, the form is up, and if you intend to make a submission, please do. Now, of course, because of all the stuff that's happened, I'm not sure if the original. Because originally the survey question indicates that maybe like 18, 19 people said yes to participating. I usually assume that's half of that's actual participants because of IRL stuff and other things. But because of all these other things that have happened, I'm not sure if we have enough people to participate in that contest. So please do submit there. It'll give us a better sense, or give me a better sense of how many actually people are doing it. If there's enough people, then we'll still go ahead of the contest. But if not, then it might get canceled. So, Fred asks, will you watch the entirety of Fred Rail Free if I submit to the video contest? No. How does that phrase "Frumple Stillskin"? I don't like it. It's dumb. Okay.
Well.
Okay. Are you guys entertained? Can I stop dancing? This is silly. Oh, I spawned in my house. Hello.
Where there are still people.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get killed again. Yeah, there we go. Okay, Ashwa says, are you happy with me using your head as WE points? I did notice that when I did the world edit for you early today. I mean, that's kind of cool. Sure.
It's one way to market.
It is a contrasting block, so it is, and it's not used anywhere nearby, so we're not going to miss it. So, yeah.
Okay, last silly questions, and don't have to go. Chief, what did you send me?
I sent you the list of all the current staff, but sorted according to random.org's list randomizer.
Okay, I'll take.
Oh, can I get the list?
You might as
put in staff.
You might as well just post it right now in public, even.
Yeah, I'll post it in a second. Hang on.
Yeah. My bud asks, would you like a tour of my little ring road? No, thank you. Frumple, do you approve of Super Splash Potion? I don't know what that is.
Bye-bye.
London asks, last silly question. Will you endorse London's Pups Quiz in Larkspur, Frumple? I mean, I'm glad that you're running it. So, and considering that some of the events have been postponed, like, I'm glad people are still trying to run it, even in this time of adversity. So, yeah. Why do I have so many hearts? What happened?
I mean, you 10 is a normal number, right?
No,
Vicky, I just posted the list in the staff channel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I heard. Thank you.
Okay, well, no, I'm dead again. What are the advantages of using a linked list over an array list? It has. Oh, damn it! I don't want to think about comp sci right now. I have not worked in that industry in years, so I don't know. I think it has.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I work in that industry, and I have not used a linked list since I left the classroom. So
I've been asked that as an interview question, and I think the interviewer didn't understand that they're array lists, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, no, linked lists, better if you're traversing them. Are they better than array lists? I don't know. Probably not. They're probably
so in terms of, well, if you're trying to do, like, if it's an expensive operation to get each item, and you're traversing sequentially from one item specifically to the next, then that's an advantage. But if you're trying to do random access, then an array list or just an array is better.
But isn't it the same though? Like, is it the same O?
No, because a link. Well, no, because an array list is O log n because you can binary search if you know your index.
Oh, you're.
Whereas.
Oh no!
If you're trying to
no. So no, what I'm talking about is if you're like say sequentially, they're like going 1, 2, 3. Can't you just do 1, 2, 3 in the array list? And that's, I mean, there's no difference, is there?
Well, yeah. If you're sequencing, then the big O is the same because you're just iterating through a list.
Yeah.
Whereas again, if you have an array and you know the index of the thing that you want, then the big O is log versus. Versus linear.
I think we're confusing.
I don't
everyone.
like this mathy talk.
I think we're just confusing everyone. Look what you've done.
I meant to bring it up earlier, but I'm kind of shocked that there wasn't any requests on the expo line for for allocations.
Well, actually, maybe we should. Oh, geez, I'm dead again. I think that maybe something we should have mentioned, like the fact that no one. Because we were trying to determine if these extensions are actually useful, and the fact that no one wanted that, and that we built that because that was the one that the Expo East was the one that people seemed to want, but the fact that no one signed up, that's a little concerning. So might give us pause for any future extensions. Yeah.
I remember in the chat, Foot Chicken was trying to extend his town for one of the stations, and Ox has a town.
But, no one asked for a station, so
yeah.
So I mean, I think in terms of pausing extensions, other than the ones that are already approved, we're probably going to pause them for a while. So
yeah, because it's the same length as Taiga. Taiga kind of Sans signed up for Tiger just because I mentioned the fact only one person had done it, and he did it just because he was helping doing that.
So, Sasha, if you're gonna ask me permission, don't do it before you get the
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Meeting is over.
Okay, so long. Thanks for all the fish.